Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here. It's Thursday, and we're doing Thursday Think Tank. And I want to know what you guys think about EUROBASKET 2025 Final Four. Yeah, we've got the four final teams for the EUROBASKET competition in Riga, Latvia. The games, the semifinals will be played tomorrow. And then on Sunday, the finals and the third place game will be played then. And the four teams representing EuroBasket Final Four for 2025 are very interesting to me because there's a lack of a lot of the main teams that normally would be involved in high-level EuroBasket things like Spain and France. Spain didn't even make it. France is out. Georgia took care of these two teams. And Serbia out. Lithuania out. You know, there's big teams that would normally be a part of the four that are at this point, but they're not. They didn't make it. So it's the whole of Europe is getting better and better. And some of the secondary countries in basketball are rising and challenging the top dogs historically in EuroBasket. It's very, very exciting. It's kind of fun to see more competition and more excitement because the games could go either way at this point. I mean, when Lauri Markkanen and the Finns beat Serbia, that was a huge upset. When Georgia beat France, that was an upset. So there's been some pretty cool upsets in this EuroBasket. And, we want to see what you guys think as far as who do you think has the best chance to win EuroBasket at this point. The first matchup tomorrow morning will feature Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Greek team, along with his brothers, Thanos and Costa. They will be playing Alperen Sengun and the Turkey team. That's right. Turkey, Alperen Sengun has really buoyed them up. They're a team that has not been around this level normally. So they're on their way up by the Rockets starting center, Sengun. So Giannis versus Alperen. What do you guys think? The historic is the Greek team should be the favorite, especially with former MVP and NBA champion Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah, that's pretty the favorite there. I think we'll have to see what happens there. We'll see if Alperen can do something. The earlier game tomorrow will be Lauri Markkanen and the Finns after getting past Georgia and Sandro Mamu, putting them out in the last round. They will play Dennis Schroder and Isaac Bonga of the German team. That's right. Franz Wagner being the leading scorer for Germany in a controversial game, beating Slovenia and Luka Doncic in the last round. A lot of controversy in this one. The referees apparently were accused of favoring Germany and not helping Slovenia in any kind of way. The coach of Slovenia very critical of things. And in fact, Luka Doncic did his money sign in that game. He did the money sign to the FIBA refs when he got his fourth foul in the third quarter. I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's like Luka is an important player for them, and they got him in foul trouble that early. But apparently Slovenia was fouling Germany a lot, is what they were saying too. So, yeah, so Germany got to the semifinals, and they will play Finland tomorrow at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So who do you think will win that one and get the finals? And then who will win between the two teams that get advanced and win the whole championships? That's what we're talking about right here. So I'm going to read Trevor's words of wisdom because I know I'll block them if I do a poll, and then I'm going to put a poll up. Trevor J's here first. He said, forgive people, but it does not mean you accept their behavior or trust them. You forgive them just so you can go and move on. Yeah. I don't want to say anything right now about this, but words of wisdom. Thank you, Trevor J, Commissioner Fun. I appreciate your support of this channel. I appreciate your tenacity. I appreciate your daily help with what I do here. You're amazing, Trevor. You're an amazing friend. I love you, man. All right, let me see. Let me get this poll together, guys. We're going to do a poll. I'm going to put in the four teams. Who's winning EuroBasket 2025? That's right. We keeping it focused on basketball on this channel. That's right. Basketball. That's the ball the round ball. It's actually a ball is what we're focusing on. Who's EuroBasket 2025's winner, guysies? All right, let me put him in. We're going to put him in alphabetical. So that would mean Finland, Germany, And then we'll put in Greece. And then we'll put in Turkey. Turkey. You got like some turkey with your Greece? That's stupid, Lex. All right, here we go. Who's winning? Who's going to be the GOAT? That's right. Who's going to be the GOAT? Finland, Germany, Greece, or Turkey? Who's going to win that? You guys know who's on those teams. Who's going to win it? Win it, win it, win it, win it, win it. Yeah, James is here. Good morning to you, James. He's saying Dennis Schroder is good at FIBA basketball. He always shows up. Yeah. Yeah, Dennis is an ultimate competitor. Dennis ain't messing with his life. He's out there trying. He's going for it. In some ways, Dennis Schroder is a better FIBA player than an NBA player because he's more respected in the FIBA world. He's not as respected in the NBA. So in some ways, in FIBA, he's more worrisome. The other teams and the coaches got to worry about Dennis a lot more than in the NBA. It's an interesting phenomenon. Sometimes players are just better in different environments. It's like some players are really good high school players. Some players are really good college players. Some players are really good in FIBA. Some players are really good in the NBA. And, well, Dennis is a better FIBA player than an NBA player. I agree with this. I think that's true. That's right. Y'all, remember, this is the Thursday Think Tank call-in show, and all calls can go through and get on the air today. The phone line is open. If you have access to the phone number, the Raptor Freak hotline, you can call in today. And I hope to hear from my man, the sheriff, Seymour Pape. We could do the fourth quarter segment at some point today. That'd be fantastic when you get a chance. My man, Seymour, that's right. Trevor J saying Dennis will go down as one of the best. I mean, he's definitely one of the best German players in the history of Germany's basketball team. Yeah, I mean, he's top 5. Obviously, Dirk is probably number 1. Franz is in the top 5 too. Franz and Dennis should be in the top 5 there. But yeah, great German players. This is a great era for Germany. And this, a lot of people are saying that the German team is the best team. That's what Slovenia's coach said after they beat them, is that the best team in this tournament is Germany. They have the best players overall altogether. I mean, because first of all, you got Wagner, who's really the scorer. And then you got Dennis, who's the leader. And then you've got a lot of guys who have been, Tice is important too. Tice is a big veteran from the NBA and very crafty, wily player. When Mo Wagner is playing too, that's another NBA player that is sizable and can play with a lot of smarts. But then they got these German guys who don't even play in the NBA, like Obst and Thiedman, that are, been fantastic for them over the last couple years. Connor Obst as a little guard shooting, and then Thiedman as one of their backup bigs. They've just really come in, and there's a quality roster and rotation for Germany and what they do out there. And well, they're the experienced team that know how to win it too, as far as what it takes to get all the way through, winning FIBA World Cup a couple years ago. So yeah, I think they're the favorite in some ways. I would agree with you guys that in some ways, I mean, Giannis and Greece could have something to say about this. In some ways, the way I look at it is it's like the best team is Germany, but the best player left is Giannis. And if it's going to be Giannis versus Germany in the finals, that'll be a great final. That'll be a great final. And, I wouldn't put it past Greece winning it either. So it could be very close between Germany and Greece if that is the final. But a lot of it will have to do with the German big guys can try and slow down Antetokounmpo and make sure that Greece just doesn't do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. James is also saying, Tracy McGrady is saying he could have won rings if he played with Shaq in the early 2000s. Lex, do you agree? I've heard Tracy say this before. And you know why he says this? Is because he sees what Shaq did in LA with Kobe Bryant. And Tracy McGrady, he thinks of himself as on some sort of level with Kobe, and he's not that wrong. If there was any players close to who Kobe Bryant was in the league during that era, Tracy McGrady is probably the guy. He was probably the closest to Kobe in some ways. So by that kind of Windersting, Shaq went to LA, turned his back on Orlando. If he had stayed with the Magic instead and had lined up and been on a lineup with Tracy and Grant Hill, I can see Tracy being honest and true about this. I mean, I believe Tracy when he says if he had stayed in Toronto with Vince that they would have won championships. I mean, Tracy can figure out all the forks in the road in his life and his career where he went the wrong way and away from the championships. And this may be 2 of them. But this one was not his choice. This was Shaq's choice. Shaq wanted to go Hollywood. Shaq was lured away from the Magic by the LA Lakers, and it pissed off a lot of people in Orlando. Trust me. And yeah, it would have been something if Tracy had shown up in Orlando and Shaq was still there. He's right. He's probably right. He probably could have won some rings. Now that's contingent on health, and it is also contingent on the supporting cast that's on the Magic's roster. They'd have to have a good enough filled out kind of roster that has enough quality role players doing enough of the stuff around there. But if you got the basic pillars of Shaquille O'Neal and Tracy McGrady in a Kobe Bryant role, yeah, you could do it. You could do it. He's right. I think he's right. But that's contingent on Tracy himself being healthy, because that was another problem with Tracy's career. There was a lot of not dependability with him and his health and whether he's available. So, yeah, it's a good question, James. Once again, James has been like the MVP of questions this year, man. Just MVP of questions, man. Smooth Brown Man is here. Good morning to Reggie, our current Raptor Freak trivia champion. He's saying that Leonard's situation just got messier. Yeah, Pablo Torre is bringing out more receipts. Now, it's funny because Adam Silver came out yesterday publicly, and he said on ESPN that the burden of proof is on him in the NBA to prove that the Clippers had wrongdoing. It's not, it's this innocent until proven guilty, unless you're somebody that's a minority or poor or this or that. No, innocent until proven guilty is only for the rich, and that's Steve Ballmer. And in some ways, he's trying to say, well, Steve Ballmer is innocent until we find the straight goods on him for being corrupt. Well, Pablo Torre is listening, and he's saying, well, I got the receipts, Adam, right here. Literally have the receipts. And I want to share them with you, Adam Silver, because apparently y'all were behind on paying one of the payments, Clippers, for Kawhi Leonard. And, well, apparently there's a direct receipt from one of the Clippers owners to this whole thing. The paper trail is just really incriminating. Really, really incriminating. Like, this is the audacity of some people. They think they can just get away with doing all kinds of heinous, horrible shit that's criminal. But there's actually receipts out there. Literal receipts. So it's like, Pablo Torre is pretty funny right now, because in some ways it's like, yeah, he's kind of a badass right now. I'm going to say that, even though I do not agree with his politics. I am going to say he's kind of a badass right now, because in some ways he's bringing the truth. Now, I wonder if this is partly because they're trying to get at Kawhi for some weird ass reason. I have no idea. But either way, I don't mind this, because in some ways the Clippers need to be shook for this. If Steve Ballmer was trying to circumvent the salary cap by paying Kawhi Leonard through a company called Aspiration, he deserves to be punished. And if Pablo Torre is going to be the whistleblower, he's going to be the one who tells the whole story and sets it all straight. Go for it, man. This is the kind of shit like the Epstein files. The truth needs to come out. People need to know if crimes were done, and people need to be punished. We need to understand that there still is, accountability in this world. And it doesn't seem like it in Trump's world. There's no accountability in his world. You can be a criminal. You can be P. Diddy, and I'll pardon you because I like you. You're famous, and you can make me cool if I pardon you, Sean, is what Donald's thinking. So it's like, it's bullshit like that. It's like, it's all corrupted. So in some ways, NBA, come on, be a bastion of virtue and fucking show the world how to hold people accountable, please. Because in some ways, I'm watching you for this. Seriously, there needs to be accountability in this. That's right. Dennis will go down as one of the best. Dennis will go down. Not Uncle Dennis. No, he won't. Not in this case. So we're saying just a heavy news day. I know that today is a specific date, and in some ways this is a heavy day in general. Whatever the news yesterday was, well, it's just news. It's everyday business in the United States. Sorry. And I'm not going to value one person's life over a child's life or another person's life. Fuck that, especially when that person was part of the problem. That person was part of the thing. He literally said to uphold American right, if the Second Amendment to hold arms, we're going to have some deaths, and deaths are just part of it. It's just a part of it. Well, he said that. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. And I'm sorry, I don't have to have sympathy for somebody who is absolutely one of the problems. But I also don't have to celebrate them dying either. So, yeah, we can say it's a heavy news day if you're referring to the assassination of Charlie Kirk yesterday. But, listen, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. And this is your rhetoric that causes this. If less people had the rhetoric you had, Charlie Kirk, maybe you wouldn't be alive today. Seriously, because it's the gun lobby. It's people like you that held back sensible gun laws. And you know what? You may not have been dead today if you hadn't gotten your own way. How about that? How about that on that? That's right. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Rapid Free Crew. Good morning to you, Cool Cat. Always good to see the coach in the chat. That's right. EUROBASKET update. I'm happy for Markkanen. I always wanted him on the Raptors as a center. Oh, well. Listen, that'd be actually a pretty good player to have on our team up here. I like Laurie. I think that Laurie's a very talented scorer, and I think that he can fit with people. He's a team player, and in some ways, he's got a good mentality. So yeah, he's totally a green light if he ended up on a Raptors jersey. Totally a green light in my world. He's not on a no come to Toronto list. He's international. It'd be interesting to see the Finn community come out for him. And yeah, I mean, my friend Arnie, who's a huge Raptors fan, he's Finnish. I think he would go crazy if we got Lauri Markkanen. He would. It'd be kind of interesting too, because obviously there's a lot of Finnish hockey players in the NHL, but there's not many in the NBA. So it'd be very, very cool. I'm with you on this. I think Markkanen's a very talented player, but I don't know what the price would be, and I don't know if I'd want it if I saw the price. That's what I'm saying. So Seymour saying politics. Politics, yeah, it's somewhat unavoidable to agree, but in some ways, it's as much as you want to let in your life too. That's right. Smooth saying Cam Reddish is signing with a team in Europe. Yeah, well, this is the way these days. The young influx, we bring in so many rookies every year with the draft that, there's a displacement, and there's going to be players that are kind of, and they won't get back in the league. They'll just kind of go away. I don't know what's going to happen with Precious Achiuwa. I don't know what's going to happen with players like this, but Jeff Doughton Jr. has gone to Israel. Malachi Flynn's gone to Europe. People are leaving the G League, and they're losing their spots, and new people are coming in to take them. So Cam Reddish is just another one of those casualties. That's just how it goes, man. Seymour saying, yes, Trevor. Yes, 100% on the words of wisdom. That's right. Amit Gaming is here. Good morning to you, Amit, one of our champions of trivia, another champion of our trivia channel. That's right. Trevor saying Kawhi's 1.75 no-show is getting more messier. That's right. The receipts are there. Pablo Torre has them. So Adam Silver, if the burden of proof is on you, well, Pablo Torre is handing them to you, man. He's handing them to you. Go look at them. Go verify them. Now, are you going to discount them or is some bullshit? And you're going to say, no, Steve Ballmer is my billionaire friend. He just built this billionaire arena for the Clippers. I love him. No, we can't come after him. I don't know. We'll have to see what Adam Silver does. Is he going to ban another LA Clipper owner for life like he did when he first started his job and Donald Sterling? I don't know. This could be a pattern. Maybe Adam Silver, you just have to ban a Clippers owner. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe he has to. All right. We got our first call on the air. It is Seymour Pape. Sir. Yes, sir.
What's going down?
Yeah. What's up, man? You ready to do some 4 quarters with Sheriff Seymour Pape?
Yeah. Let's get it, man. I need to boost my energy because I don't know, that whole thing that happened yesterday just got me down, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the attitude of people. Man, you got to remember, I'm in Alberta, which is very conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, yesterday I came out of a store and an old man with a cane stick was staring at me like I was the Utah shooter or something, man. Like, it was like, man, bro, like, come on, you got to move on with that stuff. But I get it. People are very emotional, touchy. There's a lot of stuff going on in society right now that's affecting people. So,
that's crazy. So you're getting stink eye from old men with canes just because just people are giving stink eye? That's crazy.
No, I'm a brother. They look at me, and I was saying to somebody from Toronto yesterday, we sort of stick out like a sore thumb out here. Like,
I bet.
We're not conservative. We're not, you know what I mean? So people see us, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at this black.
That's messed up.
Is that, are you a liberal? I'm telling people, like, I haven't even voted in my life. How can you call me a liberal? How can you call me anything of politics based on my features of what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
Well, this was going back to what I was telling you about school, how my teacher would see me in certain clothes and just judge me. The world is messed up. They tell people don't judge a book, don't judge a person by the cover of the book.
Yeah.
That's all people do.
This is racism. That's what this is. And part of the problem is the United States is institutionalizing racism into their policing right now. The Supreme Court's upholding the right of ICE to stop people just because they look Latino. So this is race-based racism politics. And if somebody's staring at you and looking at you in disdain just because of the color of your skin, that's racism, Seymour. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. That says way more about that person than you. And who are they to judge what you feel or think about? They want to assimilate you into their beliefs. They want you to run around in a cowboy hat and say, "Woo, I love Danielle Smith," and shit like that, just to kowtow. No, hold strong to yourself and who you are, whether it's not with me or not with them. You be who you want to be. That's the freedom that I'm fighting for on my side. That's the thing that people don't say. The right wants to control your life. The left does not. The left wants people to be able to be gay and trans and do whatever they want in their life. The right wants to control your life. So that's what I tell people. If you're right wing or conservative, you are a fucking dictator fascist at this point, because your side has played your play card, how you going to play your game. And we see exactly who the fuck these racist fascists are. So I say, look, people can say I'm not with either party like you are, and that's fine. I don't want you to choose because it's your right. I say, though, you understand where both energies are coming from and what is behind those energies. And you don't have to full on support the left with me, but understand what their motives and what they're doing and what they want and what the differences are. Because the left has always just wanted freedom and rights for everybody to be exactly who they want to be. And the right has always wanted everybody to assimilate and be exactly like a white Christian man and believe exactly what they do. And if you're not exactly who they are, they're going to look down on you and put you in a substrata, a class in society below them.
And yeah, real. Like what you said earlier in the chat, you said, you can't let the actions of one person dictate everything, like over children, over everything that's going on in this world.
Well, I'm just saying, like, look, anybody around is making Charlie Kirk's life more important than the congresswoman that got murdered earlier this year that was Democratic, over any of these children that died yesterday in a school shooting in Colorado. Fuck you. That is not more important than those people. Just because you don't know their names and just because you don't know, those are still lives that have people that cared about them. And everybody who's going over crazy about Charlie Kirk. Where the fuck was this outrage about all the school shootings and all the hundreds of kids that have been shot over the last decade? That's what I say to them.
The world is in a mess. But I think there's a lot going on. I think we're losing control of society with a lot of things.
To a degree, yeah.
There's a giant rock coming towards the planet. Nobody knows what the hell it is. I see old people arguing, well, elderly people, let me be respectful, elderly people arguing about, their pension plans, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's really boiling hot water going on right now. You know what I mean?
Well, this is why I say this. Everybody needs to be more self-sufficient now. In some ways, we got to be ready for society to evolve into chaos. And in some ways, this is the point where we all need to learn our skills for life that will keep us able to be independent and be able to be strong on our own, regardless of the systems that we depend on right now. Because these systems are not going to be able to be dependent on to a degree in certain areas, in certain places, possibly because of the breakdown of society. So it's only smart for every single one of us to get better in life skills, whether it's protecting yourself, whether it's feeding yourself, or whether it's just having a nice life separate from the fucking bullshit. You got to do that for your own sanity. I'm serious. If you're not having to deal with something directly right in your face, right in that moment, find your own peace. Turn it off. Turn off all this shit, because half of this shit is meant to make you bummed out, Seymour. And you can tell them, you know what? Fuck you. I have my own power. I find my own joy. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to sing the song I want to sing. And I'm going to find a joy in this dark, crazy, fucked up world right now. Because in some ways, that's the best act of rebellion you can do, bro.
Yeah, just be me.
Just be you and be unapologetically you. Because some ways, that's one of the biggest fights right now, is the fight not to have to assimilate to the technocracy, kleptocracy of the billionaire oligarchs and the fucking things they're going to try and do with tech and trying to control our society. So the more we can be more independent, the better. Man, this is not basketball, but this is great. I don't mind doing this kind of talk with you, man, at all, man. This is great. If I'm helping you in any kind of way, that's part of it too. So
yeah. Good. All right, well, let's get into the fourth quarter. So, okay, quarter number one. What do you think? This is strictly for you. I want to hear your answer on this. What should be the criteria for getting a signature shoe in the NBA. Because we're seeing everybody's getting their own damn signature shoe.
Yeah.
Man. It's like, what have you accomplished? What have you accomplished?
Yeah. Well,
what's your take on that?
Well, it's interesting because I see that Jonathan Mobo, he's with Serious Players Only, which is a smaller shoe brand. So in some ways, I would say there's room for smaller level players to be with smaller level companies and get shoe deals. In some ways, I don't want to be limiting. Once again, I'm a leftist, so I'm about freedom for everybody. So if you're good enough to get in a meeting with somebody and they're going to say, hey, we want to put your shoes on you. Wait, I don't want your shoes, LeVar Ball. No, thank you. You know, it's like, look, you should get that shoe deal whether or not. I mean, I get it. Some people, you're like, why the fuck does that have a shoe deal? Why do they have a shoe deal? Like, who the fuck are they? You know, but I would say this, if you're able to go get it and do it, do it. But I would agree that it's like, it seems like this is ridiculous. I mean, Air Jordans, I get it. You know, Allen Iverson shoes. Wow. Yeah. Kevin Durant. Wow. LeBron. Wow. Yeah. But at one point, it's like, well, these shoes aren't going to sell if they're not a popular enough player, right? So there's some sort of balance in there, right? You know?
It's weird because, like, you know, when Olajuwon dropped his Spaldings, everyone wasn't running to the store ready to go get them Olajuwons because they were Spalding. But the thing is he was a champion, and we should have honored that.
Yeah.
You know, and you got all these guys putting out shoes now, and it's like they haven't even done anything. Some of these people haven't even made the playoffs yet.
Yeah.
Signature shoes, and I'm like, what the hell are we doing? You know?
I agree that there seems to be a reward first mentality in so many different ways around the NBA right now, where they give people stuff way before they earned it. I completely agree with you. I mean, Ben Simmons, I'll bring him up because it's like there's dudes that just come in and they get stuff handed to them and they didn't earn that shit yet. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why the mentality of a lot of the young NBA players isn't right at this point. So, yeah. You got two?
Okay, quarter number two. Do you like that new rule that the NBA put in yesterday about the heaving? If a player heaves a shot from the other side of the court, it doesn't go against his shooting percentage. It just is a miss.
Yes. Yes, I do like this. I think that in some ways, guys have, there's a couple of things that they probably changed. Did they change this too? Where the ball at the end of the game, when the time runs out, they count a turnover for the person that's holding the ball at the end of the game. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah. So sometimes you'll see guys at the end of the game, like hot potatoing the ball between them and they don't want to hold it. They're like, no, you hold it. No, you hold it. It's so stupid. Hopefully they got rid of that one too, because that was a dumb turnover.
That's really
dumb. I know. It's so dumb. But like, yeah, the heave, like if you're running out of the buzzer at half court, halftime, and you're throwing up a heave to try and make a shot right at the end of the buzzer, in some ways, I get it. They don't want to add that to your stats as a missed shot. I don't know if that one I agree with, though. I'd agree with the turnover one that I just talked about. But in some ways, now that I think about it, they're willing to take that shot. And if it's counting in regulation, that should count as a missed field goal. So I don't know if I totally agree with this rule. You know, that's up to you.
You got to draw the line. What if the guy's, what if his big toe was over the half court line? Are we going to go back to the video review to see if, do we take the percentage off?
And this worth wasting everybody's time with the cartoon watching just to look at? Like, seriously?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard that about that change, Seymour. Thanks for bringing that up, man. That's interesting.
Yeah, they dropped it yesterday. Okay, so quarter number three. This is a very disrespectful take by ESPN. We're going into this. So Windhorst dropped his 5 most important, impactful new destination players and left Brandon Ingram off the list.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? His list was Ayton, Norman Powell, Porzingis, Bane, and Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Kevin Durant's number 1 on that list. And I think that Desmond Bane is number 2 on that list. I talked about this briefly the other day. And, you know, I know why ESPN didn't include Ingram. It's because technically he was a trade deadline move for us earlier this year. But they're missing the whole point of what this article is about. Who's the biggest new face in a new place? And, you know, Kevin Durant in Houston, sure, that's the number 1 on that list. I won't argue with that. But I'll say Brandon Ingram is the second most important new face in a new place in the NBA for the season coming up. I'd say if Desmond Bane is ranked number 2, no, Ingram's going to have a bigger impact on the Raptors than Desmond Bane will have on the Orlando Magic. So
I agree with that.
yeah, but I think it's really just because of when the deal happened that they didn't include him. So
I like Norman Powell being on that list too, because I think he's gonna ball out in Miami.
yeah.
Ayton does not belong on this list, and neither does Porzingis. None of those two players belong on this list.
They put Mike Brown as a coach on the list too. So I mean that says a lot just about what they're doing there. I mean, come on. So
yeah, that people are crazy with. Okay, so fourth quarter thing that I seen was your take on Steph Curry saying that this generation of players is the most skilled the NBA has ever seen. Low IQ take, or you agree with his take?
no, I think he's right. I think that the evolution of basketball as going forward has always been it's just gotten more skilled and more skilled since I've watched it. That doesn't mean that it's gotten more disciplined. That doesn't mean that it's gotten better, but it does mean that the players have way more talent and way more skill in the league than ever before right now. So I agree with Steph on that, but that doesn't mean that it's been guided towards, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan kind of stuff on all those cases. And I think that's the big distinction is, back in the day, the guys that came in the NBA didn't make this crazy amount of money. And in some ways, you really had to love the game and love playing to get paid the amount that NBA players got paid in the 80s. And to go through the grind of the injuries and everything, like it really was a true love to be there because it was work. In some ways, the NBA isn't as hard to work anymore to do these players. It's easy money. And in some ways, that's part of the difference is like I would take a harder working, less talented, less skilled person than a very skilled person that just fucking fucks the dog and doesn't do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would agree with Steph completely. He's right. He's right. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, we wrapped up 4 quarters.
I got overtime for you, Seymour. I'm going to flip the script on you, and I want to hear what you have to say about something I got to ask you about. How about that? Let's do a little quick segment. All right. Yesterday, it was announced by Tracy McGrady that he secretly saw plans for a one-on-one versus tournament for the All-Star game while he was at NBC and NBA meetings. And he has divulged it already. Adam Silver in the NBA has not officially announced that the one-on-one tournament will be a part of All-Star Weekend, but Tracy has confirmed it yesterday. Do you think Tracy's in trouble?
Yeah. Because when they put you in a position like that, when you're a broadcaster and you're going into those rooms, you're not like that's a company thing. You're not supposed to leak that information.
It's proprietary, yeah.
If he had his own, does he have his own podcast?
He said it on a podcast as a guest.
Oh my god!
I know.
This is what I'm talking about, man. This guy, he's continuing making poor decisions.
He would speak at the Bills press conference the other day, but he damn for sure would say this the next day, though. I think he's all right. I think he will get a slap on the wrist, but I don't think he loses his job. What do you think about the concept of the 1 versus 1?
I don't like it because it's not the game. The game is a team game, and if you're breaking it down 1v1, I don't want to see who's the best 1v1.
Well, this will be an added event. This won't be taking the game away. This will be an event that they'll do on Saturday night where they'll have a mini tournament of 1 versus 1 with. Hopefully they have top stars. Kevin Durant said he's going to be in it, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, easy. What does it go by? Easy money sniper.
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, yo, this is crazy because see, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing, and the reason why I say that is the way it could be a bad thing is if we don't get the top name players.
Yeah.
We want to see in there, like how the dunk off is going.
They all have to be the same level as Kevin Durant, as far as I'm concerned. If they're that level and there's like 4 of them or 8 of them, that'd be amazing. And the other thing that's a scary thing about it is somebody's going to lose face.
So yeah, it's not gonna. See, I wouldn't go in it. Like, let's say I'm a player I'm a franchise player of a team. Like, let's say I'm Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go in that tournament because
you could look bad.
I think it's locked in the 1v1.
Yeah.
My losing value in my contract and everything now, like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it because I think it's gonna hurt my brand.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the game nowadays.
It's a similar thing to this dunk contest. It's like
they favor their brand over team sport.
Yeah. All right, Seymour, I got one more for you. Double overtime real quick. Did you go on Discord and did you see Kareem Thomas's newspaper excerpt from his football days 25 years ago playing for Mississauga? Hang on. I want to read it to you. It's amazing because Kareem posted this yesterday, and it's his Warriors' big winners on the road. This is a excerpt from the newspaper, and this is from July 19th, 2000, the Mississauga News. The junior varsity team, now 5-1, got past the Panthers, 14-7, after once again leading Warriors on offense was running back Kareem Thomas, scoring one of the team's touchdowns while rushing for 147 yards after 6 games. Kareem Thomas, full ass, leads the league with 892 yards rushing, including 9 touchdowns. Coach Dyke Garrett had nothing but praise for his star running back. He runs like the wind, said Garrett. Once he sees open space, look out. He likes to run. Just wanted to read that little excerpt from Kareem.
Honestly, in 2000, I might have been on I think I was playing that year, man.
Really?
Yeah, I was on Scarborough Thunder in 2000.
Okay, so there's a possibility y'all might have played each other at some point way before and you didn't even realize it.
Yeah, but I didn't play defense. I was a wide receiver. I was on offense.
Okay. But yeah, those are some pretty good stats, we have to say. I mean, that man had almost 900 yards already in 6 games, and he also had like 9 touchdowns in 6 games. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, running back. Yeah, running back's a pretty crazy position.
Yeah. I just wanted to give Kareem some flowers. Now, if you get me one of your newspaper excerpts, I'll do the same thing for you, Seymour. So if you get...
I'd have to call back to Toronto, get my mom to go through the archives, and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I like this. All right, I want to continue this battle of Mississauga Scarborough youth basketball or high school basketball from about 25 years ago. I love it. All right, Seymour, thanks for the call, man.
Ask him if he did OFSA though for football. I don't know if they have OFSA for football. They must have OFSA.
He might be here. He might answer you in the comments. We'll have to see if Kareem's here right now. He might be listening right now. He probably is smiling real big if he saw what I just did.
So, man, big up the whole city, big up everybody in the chat. Y'all have a blessed day. Scarborough, Calgary.
This is what I say to you today, sir, my good friend Seymour. Remember, the powers that want to divide us are trying to divide us. So we got to stick together. It's just like what he just said. It's like West Coast, East Coast, West Side, East Side. It doesn't matter. We're all people. We're all human beings. We all have the same species class. So it's like, look, we got to stop letting the powers that be divide us down lines in stupid ass ways. We can divide on fun things like sports. And it's a healthy way to work out any kind of things. In some ways, it's fun and it's competitive and it's like it's peaceful. But in some ways, it's like, look, we cannot have tribalism in ways where we're like this, dividing this against this and stuff like that. The powers out there want this to happen. And, you know, political motivated shootings can be a catalyst for a lot of weird, bad shit. But in some ways, we got to understand the pain and suffering is on both sides. And it's not exclusive to one side. So it's the act, it's the idea, it's the division, it's the whole mentality of divide and conquer that the oligarchs and 1% have, and that a lot of people are sheeping into and buying, and hook, line, and sinker. There's no reason to buy into hate. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody right now. Love thy neighbor and love everyone and look out for each other. That's the power that will win in the end. The hate never wins in the end. The hate destroys itself. That's right. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Oh, such an amazing call with Seymour Pate, man. We got a lot done in that call just now. That's right. We got a lot done. That's right. Ahmed is saying, Ahmed's here. I don't know what he said. His messages are retracted. That's cool. Ahmed, I hope you're safe and okay. I know things have escalated a little bit around your area of the world in some ways. War is never good. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, look, I don't hate Israelis. I don't like your government. And I don't like what's happening in that area with the Palestinians. I can love the people of Israel that are good-hearted and people that are not warmongers and people that are against this genocide. I can see both sides. I'm not divided against Israel. I just think that their politician that's in charge, Netanyahu, and his disgusting squad of genocide is the problem. In some ways, as I think that the Jewish faith is an important faith. I think that it's a very, very beautiful faith for the whole entire world, all around the world. But let's not get it twisted. Zionism with Netanyahu and what they're doing is not the same thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genocidal person named Benjamin Netanyahu and the people that enable him and the people that carry it out for him. If you are on the other side resisting it and fighting it from within your country, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in Israel, I applaud you and I support you and I thank you, is what I'm saying right there. And I know Ahmed is a man of conscience and I appreciate him for that. That's right. That's right. Giannis Sky's here. Hello, Giannis for the gold. There you go. We got Giannis Sky in here to rep and support that blue and white of the Greek team. Yeah, he's feeling good about that. Yeah, he's feeling real good about the Antetokounmpo trio coming in and getting gold at EuroBasket 2025. Well, they're going to have to beat Alperin, and then, well, they're going to have to beat the team that gets past on the other side too. But good to see you, Giannis Sky. Good to see you, my guy. That's right. Seymour's saying, no, I wasn't directing my comments to anyone really, but it's okay. It's all good, Seymour. We cleared things up on the call just now. Kaloy's here. Morning, Lex and Raptor Freak fam. Morning, Kaloy and Santino. Hope that you guys are all well and the family over there, Kaloy. Where do y'all watch EuroBasket? DM me the links, y'all. You got to watch it on Courtside 1819 or something like that. That's the best way to do it. They do have a subscription fee to be able to watch it. Other places, I think there's a website called Danz, DANZ, that shows them also. I haven't been watching the games, though, to be honest. I haven't really been watching them. I kind of just look at the box scores and watch the highlights. So I haven't been watching the direct games. Trevor's saying on FIBA YouTube channel, you can watch all the games. That's not true. The games are not on FIBA YouTube. There's press conferences after the games on YouTube, but they're not actually broadcasting the games on YouTube. They broadcast the Austria game way earlier, but as a pre-qualifier. But these games, they want you to pay, and they put them on Courtside. So Wayne's here. Good morning to Sergeant Wayne Strainer. Morning, Raptor Freak. Still supporting Germany because of Dennis Schroder. Blind loyalty, I guess. No, yeah. I mean, all right. This is a Raptor Freak stream. And in some ways, I have to do stuff that's Raptor-related content. And I wanted to continue to cover the EuroBasket all the way through. So the most prominent former Raptors are Schroder and Bonga. And, because Sandro's out now, I can't really push it through with Sandro Mamu. So, yeah, I'm piggybacking on Dennis's half year with the Raptors and Isaac Bonga's ties as a Raptor too. And I should have made him one of the answers to our trivia 2 weeks ago when I asked what Raptor played on the German team in 2024 in Paris. Isaac Bonga should have been an answer you guys should have put in too for 100. But I totally went over my head and you guys too. But yeah, I mean, it's really, look, I'm in the middle of September. I'm on the last legs of getting to training camp, and I am running out of ideas. So to keep it basketball related and Raptors related, well, sometimes you have to make tenuous ties, Wayne. Sometimes you have to make tenuous ties just to justify the subject. So I love Dennis. Dennis is a Raptor forever. I'm a big fan of Dennis's personally. So I don't mind like putting the stream up to cover the semifinals with Dennis's face on it. I don't mind doing it. Love you, Wayne. Love you, Wayne. Seymour's saying, Lex, I put the YouTube Raptor Streak on the AM on the shirt. It's not big, but it's readable. You know what? You're gonna have to take a picture of it and send me that picture or put it up on our Discord or in the Facebook group just so I can see your work. Because I'd love to see what you came up with. And yeah, I hope you got those tickets to the open practice. And once again, if we can, we'll get Scotty's awareness to know that you guys are coming there. I hope Mark's going too still. Mark Tavares, if you're watching later, hope that you got your tickets for the open practice in Calgary after training camp, just like Seymour Pape. And hopefully you guys can link up at the thing and both meet Scotty at that thing. That'd be awesome, man. Seymour's saying it'll be ready for Monday. Okay, so you don't have it yet. You'll pick it up on Monday, and hopefully you'll send me a picture then. That's right. All right, cool. Cool Cat is saying this right now. Let's see what she is saying. Of course, it's a free-for-all on the Thursday Think Tank. You guys can call me. You know you can. I will answer the phone, and I'll put you on the air. Yeah, let's see. Cool Cat is saying this. I wanted him way back in the Siakam era before he was high-priced. I always thought he would be a great stretch 5 fit next to Siakam, Lauri Markkanen. So you like Laurie with Siakam. Yeah, it's interesting. I've never thought of Laurie as being able to play center correctly. Like, I don't like him as a small ball center. I'd prefer him at the three, honestly, because he's quick and lithe enough to get around playing the three at the small forward. Maybe his most natural position is power forward, but I don't think people should be playing him at small ball center. I think that in some ways you're ruining his best attributes by putting him out there at that position, because he's not a defensive player in the way that like you want a center to be, and your team is weak for it. If they were playing together, Siakam and Laurie, I would see them as the 4 and the 3, and you put Siakam at the 3, man. That would be beautiful. That'd be kind of fun. I like Siakam at the 3. When Siakam can play the small forward, that's awesome. So maybe you have a line. Let's say that Siakam got traded to Utah instead of Indiana when we traded him, and he would be in the front line with Kessler, Markkanen, and himself. That's a pretty long front line, and there's a lot of good defensive ability in it. So I like that. I like that. If you're going to put Laurie with Siakam, they should be at the forward spots. That's right. Yeah. Thanks, Trev. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Trevor J. That's right. We love Trevor J. Cream Sand, not basketball related, but rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. By no means I'm a fan of his, but I'm a fan of humanity. Nobody should be assassinated by their beliefs. When is this going to stop? I'm going to be honest. After last year's little publicity stunt with Donald Trump in his ear, my first reaction was this was staged, guys. But then when I heard that he had died, I was like, oh, wow. Now, I'm going to be honest. I thought, well, maybe he faked his death just to be a political catalyst for a lot of bad shit to happen. I don't know. If we hear at some point that Charlie Kirk is still alive, well, shame on us for believing he died. But no, if he's actually legitimately dead, see, I don't want to start conspiracy theories or anything. It's just that the other side is such a lying side that I wouldn't put it past them to do any reprehensible act in some case. It could be very well maybe this is disrespectful what I'm saying, but this is the way these guys act in the MAGA, in the way they work. That, somebody sat around and said, oh, if we have somebody die, we'll be able to enforce so much fascism on the United States. That'll be a catalyst. They'll use it as an excuse. And, Charlie Kirk, as crazy as he is, as far as like his mentality of politics and stuff, what if he stepped up and said, I'll be a martyr, guys. I'll be a martyr because I know it'll help the cause. And he's crazy enough to think that. I mean, I could say these kind of conspiracy theories because they're freedom, right? It may be disrespectful to the dead. Sure. You could say that. I'll allow you to say that. But also, free thinkers and critical thinkers think about every aspect. And when you're dealing with a side that is so malignantly fucked up, like MAGA, you have to think that all options are on the table. Now, I'm going to think my conspiracy theory is wrong, that a man did actually just get shot in the neck and died yesterday in front of a lot of people. That's sad and tragic. Once again, I'm going to say this. The United States wants to have Wild West gun laws. They're going to get Wild West outcomes. And that's what's going on down there. If they had instituted sensible gun control laws years and years ago, when the first school shootings started occurring and repeatedly, they would have something. But once again, I'm not going to value Charlie Kirk's life over any of those children that died yesterday that I don't know their names, that got shot in a Colorado school yesterday. I'm not going to value his life over any of the children that died at Uvalde. I'm not going to value his life over any of the children that died at Sandy Hook. No, because he's just one person. Why the fuck is he so much more important than all the other people they ignore that have died from gun-related deaths in that society down there? Whether it's a person of color, whether it's a child, whether it's a police officer, anybody. I'll just say anybody. Why is his life more important than anybody else's? And one side's going to make him into a martyr. The left didn't make that congresswoman into a martyr. They mourned her and they were sad, and people were ugly about it on the other side, to be honest. And they can go ahead and say, we're being ugly about Charlie Kirk. That's fine. But hey, freedom, this is what we want, right? Freedom to be who we are. Once again, that man said there's going to be deaths if we want to have guns. And well, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. And that's just the damn truth about guns. More guns equals more deaths. I did a paper on this in university, in grad school. The statistics show that more guns equal more deaths. That's just the damn truth. It's around the world. You can look at the gun deaths in the United States are overblown because of the amount of guns in the United States. So that's just the damn truth. You're going to live by the gun, you die by the gun. Charlie Kirk is not more important than any of those children that died yesterday. That's just the damn truth. I'm going to say that right now. When is it going to stop? I don't know if it's going to stop. And in some ways, it could really go crazy. Like, in some ways, I have a scenario where there is nuclear war and we actually go into a weird post-nuclear society where we have to actually pick up the pieces after an apocalypse. That in some ways we're moving towards that. And a lot of that has to do with Israel, and they're overextending their war. Now they're bombing Qatar, which is absolutely war crimes. It's really, really bad. So, things escalate in Israel, and all of a sudden some nuclear bombs start going in different directions around there. Well, that's when we start to find out the new post-apocalyptic weird ass world we live in. So I just say stay vigilant for freedom, resist, and continue to fight the good fight for the world that you want in your life. That's what I say right there. Yeah. Yeah. Kaloy is saying that was a crazy scene, man. He got shot while talking about gun violence. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck around and find out is honestly some of what this is. Listen, Charlie Kirk, for people saying he was so opinionated and he's a family man, all this stuff. He was a really bad person, guys. He went around the United States with his Turning Point United States and was basically indoctrinating incels and young men and young women into MAGA and conservative stuff. He was a really big pusher of making the conservative movement popular with younger people. He can be directly attributed to a huge rise in conservatism in young people. And, he lied a lot. He lied a lot. And he denigrated people a lot. He denigrated trans and gay people. He denigrated women. There's some really crazy ass beliefs he has about women and also about, minorities and everybody else. So he was actively hurting most of the people in the world. He was actively hurting most of the people in the United States that weren't white and male. So it's like, look, you guys, we can note that a man died. I'm not dancing on his grave. I'm not celebrating. I'm not going woohoo, but I'm also not going to feel any feelings. In some ways, this is very similar to Hulk Hogan. I am not upset about it, but I'm also not going to be like, yeah, he's dead. No, it's a very even a response. I was sad about the Minnesota shootings because that seemed like that was really fucked up. They went into her house and shot her and her husband. They died. And she was a congresswoman. And that's messed up. But, any kind of action or reaction to what happened to Charlie Kirk yesterday, well, let's compare it to what happened with a couple months ago with that and who are the people saying what and which side and whatever. And, we can all act better, honestly, on both sides. Both sides could act better. That's right. The world sometimes works in ironic ways. That's right, Kaloy. That's right. Cool Cat saying when NBA players leave to play ball in Europe, I see it as another opportunity and not a demotion. See how successful Stephon Curry was in China? I mean, Stephon Marbury. Sorry, I said Marbury. Yeah. I agree with that to an extent, but that's not the perception though. That's not. That can be for you, but a lot of people are saying, yeah, you couldn't stay in the NBA. That's the top league, and that's the hardest league. I get it, and I think you're right. I think that there's no real slouch in playing professionally in other places, especially in some of the very premier leagues in Europe that are absolutely high quality, high level competition. I think the Marbury thing in China is a little bit different than what you think it is. He's a big fish in a little pond there, and he's absolutely going to beat everybody. And that was really for that. He went over there and became amazingly rich because of what he did in China. So in some ways, it's like the competition in China is not that good. So Steph Marbury did not go over there to play against high competition. He went over there to dominate and just make a lot of money. So that's kind of what I look at right there. Ahmed is saying this. I feel bad for Charlie Kirk's family, no matter his political stance. He was ruthlessly murdered and assassinated in front of his children and wife, even though he has no real effect on society. Yeah, he does. He has a real effect on society. He has an effect while he was alive, and he had an effect when he died too, and he will. They're going to make him a martyr, and that's their choice. In some ways, it's like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I understand. Look, but once again, Ahmed, I'm going to say the same damn thing because people are trying to equate deaths being more worth each other. In your region, that's a really big problem. People have an idea of the math between an Israeli life and a Palestinian life. It's not right. All lives should be equal. And that's why I'm not going to make an overimportance about Charlie Kirk's death. I don't give a shit if he died in front of his kids. That's sad and tragic. But man, there's really tragic, awful, crazy shit that's going on in the United States right now to kids left and right that are immigrants. And that is all from people on Kirk's side. So, man, I can't do this, man. Charlie Kirk is not more important than these children that died in Colorado yesterday. He is not. Just because he's famous, just because he toured college campuses and argued with people and made up lies and made up bullshit and fucking talked out of his ass, just because he was a horrible mouthpiece of influence on societal views about immigrants. There's come on, Amit. We can bring this up. It is sad. Children should never see their parents die in front of them. But sadly, that happens all over the place all the time, whether it's in the United States, whether it's in Sudan, whether it's in Palestine, whether it's in Ukraine. We see this all over the place. So why the fuck should we care about this? We're desensitized to violence, aren't we? That's what this is, right? We're all desensitized to violence. So his life doesn't matter more to me than an immigrant man that died in ICE's custody just this morning, probably. Seriously, we're all human beings. We all have equal value in our lives. Whether it's a man on Skid Row in a cardboard box down on Queen Street West, sleeping behind a Chinese restaurant right now, his value is just as much as mine, just as much as dumbass Donald Trump's. So, that's what I say right there. That's it. James is saying, hypothetically, if we were to substitute Ingram with Markkanen, would we be better or worse? Fantastic questions from James. I'm going to give him a dunk for coming in. All right, so if we switched out Markkanen for Ingram and we were in that position, hypothetically, which is not, I'm not saying that I want that. I'm not saying that is the idea, but it would be interesting. I think in some ways they'd be similar. They'd be similar in what their effect is. They're similar in position. But I think that I prefer Brandon. And part of it is because in some ways, Lauri's been used to carrying his team during the game, right? Like he's heavy lifting for Utah. He does it for Finland right now too, where he's got to score like 30 plus, right? And he's really carrying his team. So in some ways, his offense has been more oriented, kind of like Siakam, to be a carrier during the game. And it's not often all the time that we see Lauri Markkanen with the clutch highlights at the end of the game where he's hitting the buzzer beater for the team just to win right at the end. No, that's not what he's known for. He's known for high volume scoring throughout the game and not necessarily clutch factor at the end of the game. But Brandon is. And that's why I would pick Ingram over Markkanen, because in some ways having Markkanen on our team would be similar to still having Siakam, which is a great scorer who can score a lot through the game, but is not necessarily a clutch guy when the game's ending. Does that make sense to you, James? So I would prefer Ingram, partly because of the clutch factor, majorly because of that. Yeah, Amit's saying, James, a lot worse, Ingram over Markkanen. There you go. Amit's doubling down on what I'm saying and seconding me. I like that. Yeah, Shaq Lindsay's saying karma for Charlie. I mean, listen, guys, karma's out there for everybody in certain ways. And well, let's just make sure your bank accounts are in order as far as in the karma department. Let's just put it that way. Shaq Lindsay, salute to you. Thank you for supporting my channel. Cool Cat saying Uncle Dennis and Kawhi are going to be in some hot water. Ruin his career and reputation. Greed leads to corruption anywhere. Yeah. It's just how much can you pay to insulate yourself to never get in trouble? That's what it is in some ways. It's like how much can you run away from felonies and indictments and a shitstorm of confusion and craziness, Donald Trump. Like, seriously, something's got to catch up with some of these people at some point, right? Like, Donald Trump should have been, like, in jail already, like, 5 years ago, right? Something like that. I don't get how you can get away with this over and over again. That's why justice system is not blind. It's not justice for all. It's not. It's justice is not looking at everybody equally. And that's sad, man. That's sad. Amit saying, Shaq Lindsay, I do not support Charlie, but no innocent person's death should be celebrated. We need peace and love. Yeah, and I agree with this. I completely agree with Amit on this. We should not be celebrating Charlie Kirk dying, but we should take note of it and understand it and be real about it, honestly. There's a difference in that. People having joy over people getting murdered in front of people, you're kind of sick. I will say that, yeah. And I don't have joy for that. I think this is extremely sad. But also at the same time, I'm not going to get all upset about it in myself and have my life all messed up just because a bigot got shot. A lot of good people get shot too. I'll feel bad for them and mourn them. But I'll mourn society in general that people are getting shot innocently in front of people. Some people may argue he's not innocent. Some people would argue there's a statement and an argument to make that Charlie Kirk is not an innocent person. Let's just put it that way. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying NBA hired the same law firm that got rid of the first Clippers owner. Somebody's going down. We could think that, but that whole thing with Donald Sterling is a totally different breed of animal than Steve Ballmer and the controversy with the Clippers now. That was racism, and that was really messed up. And that was to the point where the players were like, I'm not going to play for him. You need to get him the fuck out. Chris Paul and them were like, no, we're not playing for Donald Sterling. You need to get him the fuck out. There's not as much pressure in certain ways to make this change like this. So in some ways, I really do think corporation will protect corporation. And part of it is Adam Silver's already got the game plan. He had that meeting with the owners, and he's probably saying, this is how we're going to do this, guys. And I want you guys all to be okay with it. Because, first of all, we can't have this happen again. Steve Ballmer, you were wrong. You cannot do this. If you do this again, I will definitely punish you. This is your warning. And if any of the rest of you guys in the league try and do this, I will punish you the first time. So this is a cautionary tale. Steve, you're going to get a free pass this time. But listen, all y'all need to understand you can't do this. And if I find it, I'm going to get you next time. But right now I have to, protect the money, the billionaire, the sixth richest man in the world. And we're not going to do this right now. You're getting a warning. We're going to punish the hell out of Kawhi and Dennis, though. Okay? We'll do that. But Steve, you're getting a pass right now. But I think that's what's going to happen, honestly. I don't think they're not going to get rid of Steve Ballmer. Trust me. They're not going to get rid of Steve Ballmer. They may come and mess up Lawrence Frank. They may come and mess up other people in the Clippers organization that were involved in it. They may tell Steve Ballmer he can't come to the arena for a year and watch his team play in person. That may really hurt him, honestly. He'd be like, that man's so enthusiastic and crazy on the end of his court. It's like, I could see that really punishing him. They could do that. They will do that. Watch. If he's in trouble, they won't kick him off as the owner, but they'll say you're suspended for a year and you can't even come to your own arena. There's going to be stuff like that. It may be crazy, man. Trevor's saying new footage of Kevin Durant and Vanessa. He is the daddy. What? The daddy? Who's Vanessa? Vanessa Huxtable? Is this Tempest Bledsoe? Who are you talking about, Vanessa? Full name answers, Trevor J. What are you doing? I don't know who Vanessa is. Vanessa Williams? Is Rick Fox upset? Wait, isn't she in menopause? How the hell is she having a baby? She's so old. Come on now. You're messing with my life. Here, come on. Gloy saying Kirk has been spewing hate for a while for profit and clout. Yes, this is true. The lightning rod attracted lightning. I'm really interested in the fallout of this. Also, this smells like a pro hit. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, Luigi is scaring the hell out of that. Trump and Vance are going out to eat, and people are booing the hell out of them wherever they go. This is fantastic. As somebody said, fascists and dictators should feel uncomfortable and not feel safe. They should. This is how it works. This is how freedom and democracy and the people have spoken works. The people speak. Boo! Boo! I hope your food's cold. Boo! That's the kind of shit that's real American right now, is booing the hell out of a fascist dictator, wannabe king named Donald Trump. And they shouldn't let this man have a moment of rest. They should be making his life miserable in hell and stressing the hell out of him, because you know what? He's stressing the hell out of a lot of other people right now, too. All right, let's see what's going on here. Caller, you're on the Raptor Freak Thursday Think Tank. Hello, how are you today?
Hey, what's happening?
It's Kareem Thomas.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Kareem?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Good. Okay, good. It's Kareem.
Yeah, it's the man. It's the running back. It's the 897 yards. It's the 9 touchdowns. Let's go.
I just caught wind that my name was mentioned on the stream.
Yeah.
About the running back stuff and Seymour.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Allow me to have my Al Bundy moment.
Okay. Yeah, we will.
Yeah. I was really like a touted running back in Ontario for just 4 years, and things derailed me. Obviously,
injuries.
Injuries injuries when I went across the border, yes, but things started progressing way before that, and yes, that was due to my alcoholism and just hanging around with the wrong people.
Yeah.
So just to kind of elaborate on that, like anybody who's chasing their dream, like chase your dreams and not the society and not things that's happening around you. That said, yeah, Seymour, trust me, Scarborough Thunder sucks. I don't like burgundy and gold because I know that's what Scarborough Thunder is. And no offense to you, Lex, because I know.
No, it's all good. Listen, it's all good. I know there's shots are firing here.
Yeah, I know Florida State did wear burgundy and gold.
So it's garnet and gold. Garnet and gold.
Whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that said, yeah, to anybody who's just like chasing their dreams or whatever, just like stay focused.
Stay focused.
For me, like I was the man, and to be honest, I have like hundreds of newspaper clippings.
Mm-hmm.
I have tons of videos, VHS and stuff like that. But yeah, just like to anybody who is out there who is chasing their dreams, stick to your dreams and like continue to chase it. Don't ever get derailed.
That's a great message.
By anybody who, to anybody who's like, you know, you have friends. I've had like awesome friends, and they were engaging in different things, and I just got involved in those certain things too.
Yeah.
They're not bad friends. It's just that they were in things that I was getting into as well. That is my Al Bundy moment.
Yeah, you're a Polk County legend. Polk County, let's go.
But yeah, the whole thing with Charlie Kirk, and you had mentioned, I was saying that, like, you know, death is death, and we shouldn't focus on the name Charlie.
Yeah.
I understand that he was a representative for a Republican Party and stuff like that, but just like the gentleman who died in that car crash, he was in the what do you call it? The Fast and Furious. I forgot his name. He was in the Fast and Furious, but he had died in a car accident as well. And I remember back in the day that a lot of people were talking about his death. And then I remember, like, when I was on Facebook, people were talking about this guy, he died or whatever. But people don't realize that there's another person in that car accident with him.
Yeah.
And his name never got mentioned at all.
Yeah.
Right? So just because somebody has, somebody who's a public figure like Charlie Kirk was, there's other people that are dying every day, and we shouldn't just highlight this person just because he is somewhat a public figure.
Prominent, yeah.
But yeah, other than that,
anything you want to talk basketball?
Yes, of course. So the whole thing that they're talking about, this whole percentage in shooting, if it's after a certain amount of time, and like personally to me, I think like if you're shooting, you're shooting.
Yeah.
Right. It should just be registered as a shot. It's kind of dumb to me. Like it's not going to be registered as a shot or whatever. But
yeah. I mean, I think a half court heave is a field goal attempt. I think that's weird that I'm in some ways I kind of understand why they're doing it, but I don't totally. So
it doesn't make sense because you know what? If they score that attempt, it's going to be classified as a field goal made in the fence. Right?
Yeah, so in theory, maybe this shot will be abused because there's no repercussions for doing it. I don't know. I mean, maybe they want people to just huff it when they're like, that's why we want them to do this, is because we want more last second heaves that could be exciting if they go in. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing it because they're worried about their field goal percentage, okay, that I can see the reasoning for why they would do it then. So yeah.
In regards to the Raptors, though, like I'm telling you, I cannot wait for
I can't either.
The Raptors to shut down all these haters.
Yeah.
All the talks about money and RJ not fitting and Brandon Ingram being injury riddled.
Yes, we're gonna see some great things this year. I know it.
Yeah, and like the East is so wide open. People don't understand. Like Boston is not a superior team anymore.
Nope.
And you know, like Philly is Philly, and you know, like their retirement home, and they're going to be slowing down a lot. They're going to have to start to rebuild. I can't wait till they start to
when they trade a beat. Like, they have to trade a beat.
I don't even know if it'll be a trade, though, because I don't know if they'll ever trade him. I think that they're going to see him to the bitter end, and he's going to have to retire because of injuries.
Maybe. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I see that more likely.
But yeah, the Eastern Conference, I'm just looking at some of these teams. Like, yeah, Cleveland is good. They're set up pretty well to make a good run in the next couple of years. Nobody knows about Atlanta. I know they made a whole bunch of trades, but again, like, you have to have some cohesiveness. And I think that when it comes to that aspect, I think the Raptors are well above everybody in the East.
Well, in some ways, we are ahead of them because Brandon came in last year and he's already been secretly, like, he's not secretly, but he's been working with them privately like crazy. So, and you know, Atlanta's got such a new cast of characters with Nickel and Kristaps and other people coming in there that there's a certain transition period. And there's also just the discovery of whether the pieces actually fit together. And the Hawks went through that with DeJounte Murray recently where he did not fit. So it's like we can look at this team on paper and say, oh, the Hawks had such a great free agency offseason. But that don't mean this shit works together. You have to actually see it on the court and if it is cohesive. And I don't know, Porzingis, man, the formula to me is like I see flawed players all over their roster, whether it's Trae Young, whether it's Kristaps Porzingis. So I have more faith in Detroit. I have more faith in some ways in Orlando, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think cohesiveness is like it plays a huge factor in basketball. Like, I just think that you have to be everybody has to be in tune with each other, and just putting together a team like how Atlanta is doing, I think they got the team. I think they got the pieces right, but I do feel like, well, except Porzingis, I don't know about him.
We'll have to see. I still think that, like I said, I'll stand on this. I don't think a team with Trae Young as the leader will ever win.
Yeah, Trae Young, I don't know, because it seems like it's weird with Trae Young. I feel like he just needs a dominant center and then build around that, and I think they haven't done that yet.
See, that's another thing. Is like I think that the NBA with so much turnaround with different players going to different teams that they lose certain synergies sometimes that are more valuable than they actually realize. Like I think Brook Lopez and Giannis's synergy is way more valuable than Milwaukee realized. I think that another one that is messed up now is Clint Capella and Trae Young. Those guys were like law brothers. Like there was all kinds of stuff going on between Capella and Trae Young, but Capella's back in Houston now, and he's not there with him. And I don't know if Porzingis will have the same kind of Lob City kind of stuff going on with Trae Young as Clint Capella did. So, yeah. Yeah, but you know, Kareem, I'm glad I got to give you your heyday. And seriously,
I'm so happy you did. I'm so happy you did because you know what? Like talking with friends and family, like I love to have my Al Bundy moments. Like this is what I used to do. This is what I used to do. And then to hear somebody else just fucking speak on it, thank you so much. You brightened my day, even though it was dark days during that time. I do love the fact that you actually heightened my Thursday because you know at the end of the day, like I've had so much great time playing football and I've learned so much.
Yeah.
Even though like it didn't pan out the way that I wanted it to, I just absolutely love that you're able, like somebody else and not me just doing and like toot my own horn.
Listen, Kareem. I'm going to talk to you later today about something. I want to talk to you about something to do with this. All right. But I want to hold off on that. I don't want to talk about it on the stream. So I want to get in touch with you after the stream and talk to you for a second. I might message you on Discord or
no worries.
Yeah. But either way, man, I appreciate the call today. Is there anything you want to add right at the end here over time?
You know, as always, man, if you have 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, just always talk to somebody maybe you haven't connected with for a while. Tell them you love them. To be honest, like just say hi. It goes a long way for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Man. So you don't know what else anybody's going through. So
you'd be shocked.
Somebody that you haven't talked to. Talk to somebody you haven't reached out to for a while, and just tell them that you love them, and just wish them a good day.
That's a great word of wisdom right there, man, from Kareem Thomas. the butt dialer, dialing in with his fingers today. And we're just reveling in his greatness from 25 years ago today. I loved reading that article. And yeah, I'm going to contact you later, Kareem, because I want to ask you something.
No worries.
But either way, man, thanks for calling in the Thursday Think Tank on the Raptor Freak channel and giving us what you think.
Absolutely. Go Raptors!
Go Raptors! That's my man in Mississauga, Kareem Thomas, the Al Bundy of the Raptor Freak channel, coming through with the glory days. Passing by glory days, but the young girls' eye glory days. Glory days, yeah. Woo! Let's go. All right, let's see what else you guys have been talking about here. Man, Smooth is saying, well, Vanessa is alone. I get it. With her, it was me. Oh, you're talking about Bryant. I just figured out. You're talking about Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife, Kobe's widow. I get it. Wish it was me. I wonder what the ghost of Kobe Bryant thinks about this. Man, this ain't no Marsa Pippen kind of stuff, though. I'm going to say that right. Larsa Pippen. Larsa's her name. Wow, this is... You didn't put that last name on there. I understand now. Shaq Lindsay saying, rubbing people the wrong way, especially when they have nothing to lose, is a recipe for disaster. Now he leaves behind a wife and a kid. Money over compassion and love. Yeah, I mean... Listen, we can jump back into this statement. I pretty much said everything I feel about Charlie Kirk. But yeah, it's just tragic in some ways. And in some ways, this action that happened yesterday is two-edged. It's two-edged. It's two-edged in all kinds of ways. And I don't even want to elaborate on what the two edges are. Cool Cat saying, for entertainment purposes, don't penalize players for those heave shots at last shot. Then more players will try those shots at the buzzer, and if it hits, the crowd will go wild. Yeah, I think that's right. Cool Cat's saying what I figured out a couple minutes ago before I figured it out in the chat. That makes sense. Is if there's players thinking about their stats and they won't heave the last second shot. But what if the game doesn't matter because the game's not even close? They just want them heaving it anyway at the end just for fun? Man, there's different ways the NBA could go about making the game more fun again. Like they penalize all kinds of stupid stuff. Like the Jamal Shed game-winning buzzer beater last year at home in Toronto. Josh Tiven, you shouldn't have taken that away from us. It was so close. That's where you give a bone to the home team and say, yeah, but that actually is a win in our win column versus a loss. That little split second, that 1/10 of a second, Jamal Shed was late on hitting that shot. In the old NBA, it was close enough that if they had eyeballed it, and they didn't have the instant replay, the referees would have called the game for Toronto. And Jamal Shed's game-winning shot would have counted for Toronto. So in some ways, it's like, man, I wish that the NBA would be more helpful with cool stuff that happens. Often there may be a good play, like a three-point play or some sort of shot, and they wave it off. Or they don't count stuff that's amazing. So if they're going to do this kind of stuff with not penalizing players for heaving the ball at the end of the shot clock, they need to do some more work around other areas of the game to bring it back to that NBA is fantastic stuff. Because they used to have a half-hour show on ESPN and ESPN2 in the 90s that was just NBA highlights, and it would be bloopers and crazy shots and cool stuff that happened in the game. And some of it was goofy with the mascots, but some of it was amazing dunks that you don't normally see. Some of it was amazing shots that you don't normally see. And that kind of magic on NBA courts was encouraged and allowed in the space by the refs. But in some ways, the refs have been killjoys. And some of that fun little NBA is fantastic kind of energy and magic that was around in the early 90s does not exist anymore. Like that joy in the game is taken out by instant replay and over officials over reviewing. So it's kind of like, I wish y'all would eyeball it more. Y'all are trained to eyeball it more, refs. I know that you got the instant replay so you can get it exactly right. But in some ways, your discretion and your eyeball naturally is more important than actually what happens. And in the scheme of the game, in that game with Jamal Shed hitting a game winner last year, Josh Tiven should have called it a game for Raptors, even if it was a 0.1 second too late. Because in the old NBA, he wouldn't have been able to discern that. And he would have just said, So win, yay! And Jamal Shed has his first game winner of ever on that. You know what I'm saying? Does this make sense what I'm saying about this? For entertainment purposes. Because in some ways the NBA is supposed to be entertainment, right? Well, dunks, trick shots, crazy loopy shots where a guy shoots and it goes woo and then it goes in. You know, that's what we used to have on NBA highlight shows, along with shenanigans with stuff, the Magic Dragon and the Gorilla and the Raptor. Shaq Lindsay saying, I agree his death was unfortunate, but he showed no compassion for victims when he was alive. Yeah, he promoted a lot of bad ideologies. He promoted fascism. He promoted racism. He promoted misogyny. He promoted hate towards LGBTQ. And in some ways, you spewing hate. Well, hate, hate is a nasty thing. Is a nasty thing. That's right. He said George Floyd deserved to die. Yeah, he did say that. He said that he thought that a drug abuser like George Floyd deserved to get choked out by that officer, Derek Chauvin, who put his knee on him for over half an hour. So, yeah, this is the kind of person we're talking about. This is somebody who's saying that George Floyd deserved to die. So why can't we indict him for ugliness and nastiness over somebody's death, celebrating somebody's death in some ways? I'm not saying he celebrated George Floyd, but in some ways it's like, look, he was not sympathetic to George Floyd. So why the fuck should I be sympathetic to him? That's what I say in this, I'm just saying, Shaq Lindsay, I understand what you're saying, but you're not showing compassion for someone who doesn't show compassion. Do you see the pattern? Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I get it. Ahmed wants to break the pattern. And in some ways, he understands this, being where he's at right now. That, the thing that's going to defeat this isn't like matching antagonistic energy and aggression and anger and hate. It's about turning the other cheek and showing compassion and love. But the problem is that right-wing fascisms have no compassion or love. They will take it to you, to your throat. And then they'll complain that you're not showing compassion to them in the reverse, like this incident yesterday. It's really, really gaslighting and manipulative and fucking Machiavellian. It's not a real thing, because if they're not going to show compassion in their everyday lives for immigrants, for trans people, for anybody different than them, and then they want everybody to kiss their ass when something like this happens. What the fuck is that? I get what Ahmed's message is and is right. I'm going to give him a dunk. In some ways, we got to turn the other cheek and be, like Jesus would, and, accept this. But also at the same time, they're aggressively trying to annihilate people. And in some ways, peace is not the answer right now, because we have to protect ourselves and stand up for ourselves, because those that hate us would destroy us, honestly. And I know that that's what the Israelis would say right now. 36 on the dunk charts for Ahmed, for 36 on the dunk charts. It's that similar kind of feeling. It's like, the way that Israel looks at the Palestinians and Hamas and putting them together is not fair. The compassion should be shown to the innocent children and people of Palestine. And sure, the anger and the violence should be shown towards Hamas. We can get those delineations. You know what I'm saying? But it's a tough thing. In some ways, the Christ way is to be compassionate and love everyone. And that's just what it is right there. Charlie Kirk is not a good Christian. Everybody who's out there touting him as a good Christian, you're full of shit, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Kaloy's saying, I don't think he's condoning it. He's just not approves of Kirk as a person. Yeah. I mean, I don't condone them shooting him. I think that that's awful and it's a tragedy. The act itself. Yeah. I don't condone that at all. I mean, listen, I think Luigi is a great person in some ways. I really do. I think Luigi is symbolic of a lot of things. And I think that there should be more people like Luigi to a degree. But I don't want to say specifically or say exactly. But I think that Robin Hood mentality, that kind of thing in society is necessary to come and equalize things with an out of control, gilded age, oligarch, 1% billionaire corporation class that is absolutely irresponsible in what they're trying to do with leading the world. So in some ways, there is some corrections that need to be made in ways that aren't necessarily the right ways or the just ways, but in some ways they are just on some level. Let's just put it that way. That's right there. Yeah. Seymour saying, salute Mississauga. There you go. I love it. All right. Maybe we can close the dividing line between Scarborough and Mississauga here. I want the newspaper clippings from Sheriff Seymour Pape. And yeah, Kareem Thomas, we gave you your spotlight to shine. on your Al Bundy moment. That's right. I love it, man. I love it. Shaq's saying exactly what I've been saying. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. And his tongue was the gun. Yeah, the man was fighting for the right for him to get shot. That's what it is. He was fighting for that right. He said it. He said it explicitly. This is just going to be part of it, guys. If we want to be American and have our Second Amendment and have our rights to guns, some people are going to have to die. Well, did he think it would be him? Probably not. It's ironic that it is. I mean, that's what I say there. Kaz saying, good morning, Lex and Rat Free Crew. All right, that's my cue to go check on how bad Kaz is beating my ass in the WNBA Fantasy Championship. It's 1285 to 993. So, yeah, that is what? That's 292 points ahead of me. 292 points ahead of me. I'm not making up that a point total today. So, Kaz, congratulations. You're going to be the WNBA Fantasy Champion for 2025. And today's the last day of the season. Congratulations, Kaz. And the other matchup, Meredith's got it wrapped up real nice over Al Bundy in the third place game. We got Cool Cat, who's behind as of right now by 22 points to JP in the fifth place game. Fiercey's got that ninth place game, that seventh place game wrapped up. And James will win this week in the last week of the WNBA Fantasy League. There are games today. The last 4 games of the WNBA season are New York Liberty at Chicago Sky, which is a complete disarray at this point. Madge Forsberg is the crew chief. Kevin Fay is the referee, and Ashley Gloss is the umpire. Phoenix Mercury will visit Dallas. Eric Bruton, Angelica Suffren, and Claire Simmons are the refs. Golden State Valkyries at the number 1 Minnesota Lynx. Roy Guibien, Randy Richardson, and Jeff Wooten. And finally, Las Vegas Aces will play Los Angeles Sparks. Isaac Barnett, number 16, is the crew chief with Amy Bonner and Biniam Maru. There's your WNBA ref report for today and the referees for the games today. That is right. There it goes. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah. All right, let's check in on our poll for a second. It looks like 40% of y'all like Germany to win EuroBasket 2025 with 28% for Greece, 24% for Finland, and 8% for Turkey. And thanks for everybody voting. Keep voting. I'll keep the poll open for the whole duration of the stream. Also, the phone line is open. If you have access to the phone line, you can call in like Kareem and Seymour did earlier. So, yeah, you can call in and get your opinions mentioned on the Thursday Think Tank every week on the Thursday Think Tank on the Rapid Freak channel. That's right. Boom goes the dynamite. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Fiercely saying good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. Good morning to you, MJ. Good to see you on the chat. Saying hello from Kaz to Eye Candy. Cool Cat is saying, I really like seeing Scotty traveling as a young man, learning a lot from traveling the globe. Traveling is great for humanity at large. Specifically, Scotty likes traveling with his entourage. Scotty likes traveling with Jonathan Lloyd and Jay Simpson and the Nardo and Nick. He likes being with his boys and being in exotic foreign places. Of course, he's made trips to Asia. He's made trips to the islands. He's made trips to Europe. And he's gone all those kind of places. Let's go check on the Raptors and the Instagram check. First of all, we got Garrett Temple, our vet. He's celebrating a memory from June the 22nd, 2025. It's a picture of him and his wife, Kara, on a beach with their baby, their newborn baby from this year. And there's big smiles. And there's also a triple date in the Temple family last night where Temple brothers and sister were all together out having a triple date with the couples. And it's nice, lovely couples, and what a nice family the Temple family is. So very happy to see it. Now Garrett is out on the links, hitting a little small ball with the sticks out there playing some golf. Norman's got the Understand the Grind sweats on sale, guys. Go get that Norman Powell Understand the Grind stuff. That's right. And he is working out like crazy, getting ready for the heat season. We love you, champion of the Raptors, Norman Powell. JYD is somewhere. Where is he? He's in the Vatican at Yorkville. He's in Toronto. And he had a dinner at Vatican, the restaurant. So, yeah, that's where JYD is in town wearing his Georgetown shirt. AJ Lawson was out on the patio last night, on his balcony last night with his dog, his Frenchie, sitting with his legs in that little position that dogs do sometimes, like it's a little out the back. You know what I'm talking about. And the skyline and the sunset, it looks beautiful at AJ's place. This is the kind of stuff a kid from Brampton's got to soak in. Look where you went to, man. You started out in Brampton, and look now where you're here. That's right. What's that Drake lyric? Started from the bottom, now you're here. Yeah, look where you're at, AJ Lawson. Look at your life. Pinch yourself. Keep living. That's what I'm saying right there, my guy. That's what I'm saying. Slim Duck, I'm almost about to stop following you because look, he's taking a picture of himself in Boston against the great Hall. In some ways, I like this, though. Chris is showing respect to the great Bill Russell in his post. He's playing something by Kevin Gates. It's about legends. And it's a picture of Bill Russell and Red Auerbach, and they're underneath championship banners from the 60s that they earned. Chris is holding a green bag. And he's, you know what, in some ways, this is the thing. Bill Russell is a civil rights pioneer. He's a legend and a representative of the struggle of civil rights. And in some ways, Chris is putting that on blast and honoring that. And you know what? That's the right kind of thing. That's the side of the Celtics I can get behind. I have an immense respect for the great Bill Russell and everything that he went through as a player and as a person in life. You're an amazing person, Bill Russell. And the honoring of you as number 6 across the league was justified. And in some ways, I'm getting sentimental about Bill Russell. And he didn't even die yesterday. He's been gone for a couple of years now. And I'm getting more sentimental about him in this moment right now. Seriously. Bruno Fernandez putting Carmelo Anthony's Hall of Fame speech on blast about dads and being a good dad and not being perfect. Sandro Mamu celebrating his Georgian team. They did not get past the next round, but Sandro had a pretty good game in the game that they lost to Finland. He was the leading scorer in the game all around. Raptors official. I don't see any Buffalo stuff on here. That's good. I would tell this. All right, this is what I'm going to say to Raptors fans about my tirade yesterday about MLSC's decision to start collaborating with other sports with the Raptors. Raptors fans, you guys have power. When you see content come from official Raptors admin, whether it's the YouTube channel, whether it's Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, if it is content that is not basketball related, it is your choice to not click on it. If they want to really gauge how interested we are in this collaboration with the Buffalo Bills, you can tell them by not clicking on it. So they released some of the press conference the other day, like the Bills GM and Keith Pelly and their little speeches. Don't click on it. Don't give them any views. Send them the message that us as Raptors Nation are not interested in all the crass promotion and all that kind of bullshit. That's your choice. If you're into it, go ahead and click on it. It's a free country. I want y'all to be free to do whatever you want. But I'm endorsing a side that says if you are annoyed with the Raptors brand that's unique and very valuable is getting watered down with MLSC's decision to cross-promote between all the teams that MLSC has touching, I would say we can fight this by showing that we're not giving it our attention. And that's what I say to that. So if you see the Raptors logo on official Raptors post and it's blue, the color around it, because it's blue because of the Blue Jays, blue because of the Maple Leafs, or blue because of the Bills, don't click on it. Because in some ways, that is a way we can state our feelings about what MLSC is trying to do right now. And they may be like, well, this isn't working out as well as we thought, Ed. Yeah, I don't know why the Raptors fans aren't just mindlessly following what we're putting in front of them to follow. Maybe we miscalculated about the Bills. Yeah, maybe we did, Keith. You're fired. Yeah, woo! Woo! Yeah, there you go. All right, we're still doing the Instagram stories. Yeah, Jonathan Mobo, this is a little bit disappointing. He's reposted Charlie Kirk tweeting. Now, I know Jonathan's very religious, and he's very much into Jesus. And in some ways, I don't want you to look at Charlie Kirk like Jesus. He's not a martyr, okay? And Jonathan Mobo, I mean, whatever your politics are, all right, that's fine. But in some ways, if you are a Trumper, that's not in your best interest, Jonathan. And don't get lumped into being with Trump just because you're very religious and you're following it because of that. No, you can be very religious and follow Christ. In fact, it's more religious to follow Christ and not be MAGA. Just so you know. I don't think you're MAGA, Jonathan. I think that you're somebody that loves Jesus, and you saw somebody that spoke to you in some ways because he was using the words of Jesus, even though he was not Christ-like. And that's why I would caution you, Jonathan Mobo, from reposting a tweet by Charlie Kirk on your social media. In some ways, you may need to read the room with the Raptors fans. That they're very left. And in some ways, you posting that, some people may be messaging you today some stuff you may be shocked to hear from Raptors Nation. Let's just put it that way. I think it's best to stay out of politics in general most of the time in this kind of case when there's a tragedy like this, and I get why you posted this, because you want to get the message out. Jesus defeated death so you can live. That's ironic that Charlie Kirk posted that on September the 6th of this year, just 5 days ago. But in some ways, Jonathan, I don't know what you're trying to do here. What are you trying to do? You trying to enhance his platform to put it out there? Or who are you trying to talk to? If you're trying to profess your love for Jesus, you can leave Charlie Kirk out. You can leave him out. And, in some ways, you might be getting a little bit of damage control this morning from reposting him, because the Raptors fans are not with this. I'm going to tell you that right now. Majority of Raptors fans are very left, and they're very open-minded, and they're for POC, and they're not for Charlie Kirk. And you showing support for Charlie Kirk yesterday, Jonathan Mobo, is not going to come off good for most of the Raptors fans. I'm going to tell you that right now. I was disappointed when I saw it. But also, I'm a person for freedom of speech. And if you want to go ahead and post that, you go ahead. But realize you might get some answers from people you're going to be like really shocked about today. Just so you know. Just so you know. Emmanuel Quickly is back in the dot. And they were on the boat yesterday. They went on their boat ride yesterday. I love it. It's like an annual thing now, where the Raptors get out in the boat in Lake Ontario on a beautiful blue sky day and ride around in the boat. And there were some clips for this. And Emmanuel was on that boat in Toronto. I see the Sky Dome, the CN Tower, and the beautiful cloud cover on the top. Scotty Barnes is looking for people to join his group, his team, his squad on 2K, One Clan. And they don't have enough people. They need active members. Send a picture of a 2K card with stats so he can analyze whether he wants you in, and then he'll add you in. Looks like they only had 16 or 18 of 50 members as of yesterday. So Scotty is looking for crew members for his One Clan. That's the One Clan that they've been on before. It was the One Lloyd, one shot, one people. That's right. So yeah, if you seriously, y'all could get in there like Durrani and be on Scotty's 2K team, his 2K crew. He's opening it up for invites. So get in there and send it to him. Shamshay was on the boat. There's a beautiful picture of the CN Tower from the boat. It looks like a perfect day to be on the boat out in Lake Ontario. Yeah, it does. Jamal Shed's letting us see the real Scotty Barnes. Yeah, this is what he's saying. Real Scott. And he took a picture of Scotty's back. And Scotty's back of his shirt says, "You need Jesus." Yeah, that's what Trevor J and Randolph tell me every day. We all need Jesus more in our life. And that means the real Jesus and the real teachings of Christ. Christ was a liberal. Christ was a leftist. Christ was a socialist. This is all true. This is all true. If you really want to go and look at what Jesus Christ meant and said and what he was standing for, it's all liberal ideology. It's all socialism. And that's the reason why anybody who says they're conservative and fascist and for Trump and they're Christian, that's not lining up. It's not. Scotty's for Jesus. I'm for Jesus too, but I'm for the real Jesus, not the Jesus that's been bandied about by the right wingers that is used to hurt people, because Jesus never wanted you to hurt nobody. And we know that's the truth. We know that's the truth. You need Jesus, Scotty? Yes, we all need Jesus. I'm with you, Scotty Barnes. I'm with you on that. That's right. There's Jamal Shed on the boat, and he's got Jameson Battle with him. And he's saying, this is a beautiful lake and stuff like that. That's what Jameson's being goofy on there, and Jamal's listening to him. That's pretty cool. Jamal gave his jerseys to the kids back home. He sent them back, the 23 red, and the little kids are putting them on, and they're dancing around in the house with the new 23 jerseys. Those are those kids I've seen before. They're big fans of Jamal Shed. Toronto Tempo president Teresa Resch is still putting on blast the Montreal Youth Basketball Champion for girls on Saturday, September the 13th. That is in 2 days. So if you're in Montreal, there's Toronto Tempo events all weekend. Go check them out. Skills competition, camps, giveaways. Meet Teresa Resch and Monica Wright-Rogers, I'm sure. That's all going down in Montreal this weekend. Tempo is in town. So go check them out. Seriously, y'all. Go check them out. And yeah, that's about it for the Instagram stories right there. Yeah, the guys were on a boat yesterday, riding around in like Lake Ontario. That's the annual boat cruise they go on. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying Laurie wants to play the 3, but he is a stretch 4. I wouldn't put Laurie in 5. Man, would he be food? Yeah, exactly. That's what I see too, Sheriff. It's like Laurie is not the strength to hold people like Alperen Sengun and Nikola Jokic and those kind of guys. In some ways, that's the problem right there. He's a very good scorer. He's non-contact kind of player. In some ways, if he's spending too much time banging down low and fighting for rebounds and having to play defense, he's taken away from his offense. He's taken away from his offense. That's too much energy spent by that Finn if he's having to play center. So that's why I wouldn't do that unless you're playing a very small ball lineup and the other team is too, and you can get away with it. If it's a fast-paced game and you're running up and down the court and you want them to be the 5, then it would work. But that's dependent on the other team not having a full center out there too. That's what I say. Amit's saying at Seymour, putting him at center was the reason he didn't work in Chicago. They used him as a big man instead of a wing. Yeah, and Vucevic got that spot. Yeah, that makes sense. Fiercely saying, so there are rumors about the Clippers' recent shady signings, both Harden and CP3 taking lowball contracts. Does this mean they're compensated in a different way like Kawhi? See, this is a great question by MJ because honestly, the suspension is there. If they've done this action with Kawhi and they're dead to rights on it, maybe they do need to be gone because they are going to do it over and over again. That is very suspicious. I'll bet you it could be true with James, but I don't know if it's true with Chris. With Chris, he's the kind of guy that wouldn't do that kind of shit because he's not easy money kind of guy. He's trying to live his life on the straight and narrow. I could get that vibe from Wake Forest's Chris Paul that I wouldn't see this. I could see Chris taking the veteran minimum just to come back to LA because he has memories there. He was there when they got rid of the owner before. Maybe he'll be there again when they got rid of the owner again. I don't know, but I wouldn't see Chris Paul doing this, even though he could have, he might have. But James Harden would be more likely. He'd be more likely to want that Dire Straits package of money for nothing and the checks for free. Oh, yeah. I would see Pablo Torre may need to go investigate James Harden's contract next. Yeah, Fiercely, this is a great question and a great thing to kind of consider. That's the thing. Once you have this kind of discrepancy, well, everything has got to be thought about possible-wise as far as what else could be happening. So Steve Ballmer does this with Kawhi. Why couldn't he be doing it with James Harden? 119 for Fiercey Salsera right there. Seymour saying at Amit, Chicago is a mess at bringing up players in that system. We'll see how it goes with Buzelis, Giddey, and White. Yeah, Giddey back in the fold, getting his deal. Kobe White, an emerging star. And Matis Buzelis, one of the better rookies last year. Yeah, it's an interesting group. They were at the Naismith Hall of Fame ceremony for their coach, Billy Donovan. A lot of those young players, Ayo DeSumo, Dalen Terry, and those guys showing up for the coach when he got into the Hall of Fame last week. That's right. Amit saying at Seymour Pape, so was Cleveland when they got there. They put him at small forward, and he got so much better. Yeah, okay, you guys are talking about I got to figure out. You got talking about Markkanen? He was in Cleveland for a second, just for a split second. That's right. Seymour saying, eye candy, Clippers been a dumpster fire since the last owner, Sterling. Man, I don't think they've ever not been a dumpster fire. I think that the heyday of the Clippers was a Lob City with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, but they were all tarnished by Donald Sterling. And before that, it's just misery and pain. The era of Elgin Baylor as the GM, the whole entire time. Oh my gosh, just one after another mess up. The NBA wanted a team that wasn't that good. And in some ways, it was kind of the way of doing it with the Lakers being more important in LA and the Clippers being a joke. And the Clippers have always been a joke. And they still are to a degree. Even though they got a really rich owner, they've got a fancy-ass stadium, and they've got big payrolls and big stars now. They're still a joke, and they still go through their shit. Even with this stuff going on. It's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, he wants to play 3, but you got to be extremely athletic at that position. I think that Markkanen can get away with 3 or 4. I think you can slot him at either spot. Yeah, Cool Cat saying Sandy Hook massacre left a gaping hole in my heart. Gun violence in the U.S. will never improve until the entire country say no more. Quite simple. Yeah, and this is a very good example of lobbies being in the way of progress and good change. You can blame the NRA. You can blame the gun lobbyists for blocking this kind of shit, for actively fighting every single step. The gun profits went to making more profits by paying off politicians, by using lobbyists to really hold it to them and fight for this bullshit. Those lobbyists to step down and get out of the fucking way. The politicians may actually make legislation that could fix things. But that's not what they want. They don't want to fix things. If anything has to do with making money and the racket, whether it's the fossil fuel industry or the gun industry, healthcare for profit industry, they're going to be in the way of all that because that is what matters to them. That is what they want. They want God money, Trent Reznor, and they'll do anything for it. God money, just tell me what you want me to. That's what they're doing, man. That's why renewables and solar and electric cars are getting slammed, because the lobbyists pay a lot of money for misinformation for the oil companies to keep their racket going in the status quo. And that's part of the sad thing, is that's what's holding this shit up. It's the lobbyists. It's the gun groups that fight against the politicians doing it, and they pay off the politicians. And that's the whole thing. We could have less dead kids if the gun lobby would just get out of the fucking way. If the pharmaceutical lobby would just get out of the fucking way, they'd have lower drug prices. If the fossil fuel company would just get out of the way, we'd have better sustainable energy that is better for the environment. That's the biggest problem right there, is there's people that are paying a lot of money from the big corporations to come and influence politics and just kind of control them. It's really a bad thing. Money is really fucking this world up. Greed is fucking this world up. And we're not making decisions that are sustainable or right for the children of the future, for a short-term profit now. And that's a lot of it right now. Think about the cigarette industry and how much it took to fight them on the really very basic truth that cigarettes cause cancer and you die from them. How long did it take for the people to beat the cigarette lobby and the misinformation they were putting out about cigarettes for so long? And still, cigarettes are still a part of our society, but they're not prominently advertised or put in our face like they were. And there is encouragement to stop smoking. You know, the cigarette companies lobbied for years and years against any kind of regulation on that. And a lot of people died of lung cancer because of it. So it's a similar kind of thing. And that's the way it should go, is the cigarette companies, you know, they lost at a certain point and they had to admit that they were doing wrong things. Well, the fossil fuel companies are going to have to come around and have their reckoning on this when the planet has no breathable air or clean water. Yeah. Yeah, right there. Boom goes the dynamite. Kaloy saying, imagine if they found the shooter and the person's name is Mario. Okay, I'll take your joke. It's a little funny. Smooth saying, Leonard's contract needs to be voided and suspended for 1 year. That's very possible. That is probably likely, honestly. Seymour saying, I remember players warming up with warm-ups tuned inside out. Clippers players laugh out loud. Yeah. I mean, this happens. Seymour saying that organization is a mess. Yeah, they've had problems for a long, long time. That's right. Paul Walker. You're bringing up Paul Walker. That's the guy from Fast and Furious. I ain't going to diss. Hang on. It jumped ahead. Let me see. I ain't going to diss Saga. I got family there. My older cousins used to dish out the beats. Not going to lie. But it's a Scar City thing, my G. This is all good, man. I like you guys having pride in your boroughs. But once again, we're all GTA. And that's the thing that matters the most. We're all GTA, baby. We're all GTA. And that's the thing that matters the most. Don't let them divide us. Mississauga is a fantastic place, and so is Scarborough. That's right. Monique is here. The super fan Monique Lawrence has entered the chat. I love you, Mo. Hope you're having a great day. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. 25 more days until the Raptors play basketball. Boom, that's a dynamite. Oh, my gosh. I see it on my calendar right there. Oh, my gosh. I can't wait for media day and then the training camp, and then boom goes the dynamite. Here we go. We're into the odyssey, the journey that is the NBA schedule and the season. That's right. Boom goes the dynamite. Let's go. Monique, you're getting a dunk for reminding me that basketball is coming. Basketball is coming down the pipeline towards us. You are breaking the century mark today. You're at 102. There you go. Super fan, Mo. There you go. Shaq Lindsay saying, Kareem, did you go to celebrate? Cedar Bray. Did you go to Cedar Bray? No, I don't think so. Wayne saying, Lex, you know I love you, but I'm trying to stay away from the assassination because I don't care. Fuck. He advocated for people like me to die. He had no compassion for kids dying at school. Hypocrite. Now, I'm similar to you on this, Wayne. It's like, look, I have to talk about it because it is a hot topic story that happened yesterday. And I want to be very careful about how I talk about it. I'm not celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, but I'm also saying you live by the gun, you die by the gun. And I mean, that's fair to say, seriously, because of his stance in politics and what happened. It's ironic. It's sadly ironic. It's not celebratory ironic. It's sadly ironic. I mean, this is just how it goes in some ways. Wayne, you and I are very similar on this, man. We're very similar on this. And I don't like the fact that he advocated for people like you to die. No, I don't. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. Seymour said, Lex, you've been to West Hill? Ain't no part of Mississauga popping like that. How about that? You know, I do know West Hill. In fact, I go to West Hill regularly. You know that I know West Hill very well. Back in the day when I was working a delivery job for a cleaning company and it was out of Downsview. I had my depot at Kiel and Shepherd. My territory was Scarborough. And I'd have to go all the way over to the nuclear power plant, and I do all of Scarborough. I deliver to the zoo. So, I'd be going out there. And yeah, I'd have to deliver to apartment complexes in West Hill that were pretty rough. In some ways, I'd be walking through there and I'd be like, wow, this place, there's some interesting activity here. But I'm always been streetwise, and I've always been knowing how to keep to my own business. And yeah, but I've been to West Hill. I've been to apartment buildings all over the GTA, and I know where the hot spots in this city are. And West Hill is one of them. It's a little bit extra. Yeah. My grandmother lives very close to West Hill. So I go to West Hill often because she's over there off Kingston Road. So yeah, I'm over near that area kind of regularly. That's probably the part of Toronto that I go to the most right now is West Hill. Does that sound crazy? Because I'm north of the west, that side of Toronto, and I just shoot straight down. Adriana lives not far from West Hill. She's just north of it. So it's like going to see Adriana or going to see Scarborough Shooting Stars or going to see my grandmother. That's all going to take me just north of West Hill. And I know it very well. That's right. I know it very well, man. That's right. That's right. Mo's saying this. T-Mac's going to get in trouble for his comments on All-Star Weekend. Laugh out loud. Yeah, he shouldn't have said that. You let the cat out of the bag too early. I don't know, Adam Silver. Maybe you should make T-Mac the official announcer of NBA news. Maybe he can be like your Shams. Breaking news, T-Mac with the news. Hey, guys, listen. There's going to be a one-on-one tournament at the All-Star break. No, you shouldn't have said that. Yeah, I'll bet you get a slap on the wrist. And it'll be like, T-Mac, don't do that. Don't do that ever again. What are you doing? Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. Ignorance leads to misunderstanding, which breeds fear, and fear remains the greatest enemy of peace. The world needs peace. That's part of it is like, look, there's certain people out there that want to agitate people by fear, and fear makes people do desperate things that are not the smart decision. This is the thing. There's very actively campaigns of fear going on, obviously towards immigrants in different places. There's obviously fear that they're trying to instill in trans people and gay people. There's fear they're trying to instill on anybody who is exactly who they want to see in their face. They're eugenists. Like they're into eugenics. They want to believe the white race is most superior, and they're going to try and support the white race in underlying ways in this government of Donald Trump. And in some ways, this is the kind of shit. So they use fear of immigration on people so much. And there's so many people here buying that bullshit right now that think all their problems in the world are caused by immigrants. And they're absolutely wrong. And they're stupid. The problems that are caused for you are caused by billionaires. And they've shifted the blame on the immigrants. And they do that by making you afraid of them. So all you people that are scared of immigrants, you're idiots. You're pussies, honestly. I'm scared of immigrants. Oh, immigrants. Shut the fuck up. You guys are idiots. Seriously. Blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's what I say right there. Stop being afraid. Fearful people make stupid decisions. If you got to be brave, because you can be brave. I'm being brave right now. I talk in my truth on this channel every day. That's brave in some ways in this world we're living in now. That's right. Shaq Lindsay, no, I did not. He did not go to Cedar Bray. No, I did not. Shaq Lindsay saying, I'm not fooled by Lauri's play in EuroBasket. He is not a superstar, but he's paid as one. $50 million in Utah still sucks. Hey, Shaq Lindsay speaking facts. I mean, in some ways, he's right. I mean, in some ways, his value is inflated on this. I mean, we could look at Dennis Schroder and see how he's maybe a better FIBA player than an NBA player. Maybe it's the same thing with Markkanen. I mean, I could also make an argument the other way, Shaq Lindsay, that Lauri Markkanen has never really truly had a good team around him in most of the places he's been in. So we don't know for sure on that. We don't know for sure. They complain about RJ's salary, but what about Lauri? Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I heard some ridiculous trade rumors, RJ and IQ plus picks for Lauri. Laugh out loud. Yeah, nah, listen, just because he's paid more doesn't mean we want to trade a guy that we value more for a guy who's paid more. And hell no. I mean, basically, you're telling me that Lauri Markkanen is equal to OG Anunoby when you make that deal right there. No. That's right. Let's see. Monique saying W Stream W Vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. Keep helping me limit the comments. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate you being here and helping me with that. Seriously. I am about 6 minutes from 2 hours. I cannot go on a Lexathon, guys. So stop the comments. Please follow Monique's direction, because I do need to get off here in the next 15 minutes because I got stuff I got to do. Seymour saying, yo, Anthony Edwards called out Durant's bald spot on his head and compared the spot to his signature shoe. Man, these two going back and forth. It's like wrestling. Yeah, he called out him on the child support thing. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, Anthony Edwards versus Kevin Durant in social media right now. Very interesting. Blackhawk saying Mobo is just young. He will get wiser as he ages. I mean, I don't mind him. He's going to profess his love of Christ, and that's not the problem here. It's just that I don't know if Jonathan is wise enough to know the full platform of Charlie Kirk, and I'm also wondering if he agrees with it. Then, like, if he does understand his platform, do you agree with this, Jonathan? Do you agree with Donald Trump? Because that's what this is, Jonathan. Do you agree with Donald Trump? That's scary. Are you a Jonathan Isaac? Because that could be true too. Another Florida boy came through and he's like misguided because he's very devoutly Christ and he's fallen into the mega cult that way. I mean, I don't want to think that Jonathan Mobo is the same as Jonathan Isaac. I really don't want to think that. In some ways, Mobo, you may need to make it clear a little bit more to Raptors Nation as of today. Seriously. Most saying Jeremy Lin posted episode 4 of what he could have in the NBA feature. Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell, and Pascal Siakam. I'll post it today. Okay, cool. Cool, very cool. I didn't know about that. I don't know what that is. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I don't even blame the lobby, organizations, etc. American citizens can vote to determine the future they want. Don't keep voting for politicians that ignore gun violence. American voters can do better. Nope, you're blaming the wrong people again, Cool Cat. It's the lobbyists. It's the controlling of the government by the very rich people. They're paying everything off at the top. Votes don't matter. Voting, in some ways, I'll tell everybody to keep voting. Yeah, we need to exercise a vote. But in theory, a lot of the voting systems are not fair. They're not proportional. You got to stop blaming the people and telling them that it's their fault. Because look, things are so gerrymandered and so manipulated and so fucked up that it's like, look, we can try and vote ideally every single time, and we're still not going to get the right results because somewhere along the line, somebody's compromised by money. It could be somebody like Kristen Sinema, who got voted for on a certain platform, and they voted for her to do something, but she was compromised by big money while in office and totally stabbed everybody in the back. There's all kinds of ways this is not the voting public's fault. And you blaming the voters once again, I lose respect on that. Because if you're not wise enough to see how they've manipulated our voting systems, that it's a fraud, whether it's the false flag of the Democratic or the Liberal Party versus the conservatives and the Republicans, whether it's the gerrymandering of the United States or the different weird ways that we do our parliament here in Canada, it's all the system that's fucked right now. It's the money involved in the system, and it is not the voters. You can say it's the voters. We could vote. Everybody come out and vote for Kamala Harris, and Elon can ruin the election with his manipulation of voting machines. We could have voted for Harris, and we got what we got because they cheated, and they just put Trump in office anyway. So don't fall for the illusion that our vote is determining things right now. No, they are controlling things within past our vote because they don't want to have any kind of area for discrepancy or change. That's why Bernie Sanders gets railroaded out of the way every single time, because they know they can't control him. That's why they're going after Mandini right now in New York, is because they know they can't control him. And that's why people need to vote for those kind of leaders more than ever, that are not compromised by big money, corporate sponsorship, and corporate interests. So once again, Cool Cat, I'm giving you a strike because this is the second time you blamed it on the voters. The voters need to vote, and they need to get out there. But don't get it twisted. A lot of this shit is not being decided by the voters. It's the system that's broken and corrupted with money involved in the middle of it. That's what it is right there. American voters can do better. What if I told you they voted for Kamala and they hijacked the election through a satellite that Elon set up with the voting machines, and he manipulated the results, and they put Donald Trump in office, and it didn't matter that the people voted for Kamala? What if I told you that? Would that change your opinion about this whole thing? Wayne's saying, what's our opinion on Mamu since we got a chance to watch him play, although out of position regarding the Raptors? I watched him in FIBA games last year. I'm sold, anticipating preseason action. Well, a lot of the way he plays in FIBA is the way he plays in the NBA. And I expect it to be kind of similar. He's not going to average 20 points for us, obviously. He's going to be an energy guy. He's going to be a hustle guy. He's going to get after rebounds. He's going to play good defense. He's going to shoot some threes. He'll be a good passer in the Darko system too. So there's a lot to look for with him in different dimensions. And I think he's going to be very successful. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch, guys. In some ways, he's got that JYD, Kurt Rambis, Dennis Rodman, I'm going to get after the ball and hit the floor kind of mentality. And that always becomes a fan favorite right away. And that's why Milwaukee and San Antonio fans love him, because he's that kind of player. He's going to hit the ground to get to the ball, and he's going to go all out. So we're going to expect to see that, is what I'm saying. Milbester's saying, hey, Lex, how are you today? After what happened yesterday, I don't even know what to say. I lost someone that followed Jesus as a devoted follower of God. The devil is dirty. Thou shalt not kill. He's not Christ-like. Charlie Kirk is the Antichrist. I mean, Charlie Kirk is the Antichrist. Milbester, you can fall for the guise of Jesus Christ in devils, but Charlie Kirk is not a person of Christ. He spewed hate. He spewed division. He spewed subjugating the meek and the innocent. He was not a person of Jesus Christ. I'm sad that you've fallen for that bullshit and think that. I'm more Christ-like than Charlie Kirk is, and I don't even go to church. I'm more Christ-like than him. Seriously. So don't even give me this shit, man. The devil's dirty. Well, I would say in some ways, Christ might have worked this one out yesterday. Seriously. The video haunted me to my stomach. Can't believe I saw it. You shouldn't have watched it. Most places aren't going to show it. You know, that kind of stuff shouldn't be seen. People dying on videos and stuff like that. And people that get joy from that. Like the people that used to want to watch Faces of Death when I was a kid. I'm like, man, you're a little weird, bro. You're a little weird, man. You want to watch a guy get ate by an alligator? Like, seriously? You want to see a guy get, like, cut in half by a subway? That's messed up, man. Nobody wants to see that. That's right. Milbester's saying this also. Lex, at least the NBA season is almost back, and the Jays are making the playoffs while the Raptors are back. I saw Astros Blue Jays game, and Houston blew an extra innings game for my Yankees to gain ground. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad. The Blue Jays won yesterday, right? Yeah, my cousin went to the game yesterday before he goes back to Saskatoon. Yeah, I want the Blue Jays to keep winning. Yeah, I'm all about the Blue Jays. Yeah, let's go. Wayne said we should ignore any and everything Mobo says, which is not connected to basketball. I mean, I don't mind putting his message out. And in some ways, I know Jonathan's just a follower of Christ. And like Milbester, he may be just misguided to think that Charlie Kirk is actually a Christ-like person. He's not. Don't fall for this shit, Milbester. Charlie Kirk was all about, he was against your people, man. You're Dominican. You know, you have family that's immigrants. You have people that came to this country from Dominica like you did. He's not for you guys. Charlie Kirk is against y'all. He would have deported your asses if he could. So I don't understand why Milbester feels bad about this guy or feels like he's Christ-like. He's not Christ-like. His teachings and what he said were not in the way of Jesus. Let's just put it that way. You can tell that. That's right. Cool Cat's saying this, Lex, if the voters don't vote out the bad eggs, everything, then how can good policies take place and improve the situation? Anarchy. That's the only way at this point. Cool Cat, once power's ensconced and they have their status quo, they're not going to let it go. That's why in some ways, if we really want to change things and stop the dumbass infrastructure for fossil fuels still being built and start switching to green energy like everybody's saying, we might have to fucking get all the power out of the money in the fossil fuel companies here. Seriously, these voters can try and do this, but in some ways it's manipulated on a whole other level that you're not seeing. Are you being naive is basically what I'm saying to you. You're being naive. If you think that this is how the system works, well, I'm glad you still believe in democracy and that our votes matter and count. Nope. No, we're going to have to do some crazy ass shit, a little bit like yesterday, to get things righted. And in some ways, you know, people that are greedy and running roughshod on society and the masses, they should be scared right now. Let's just put it that way. They should be scared. Good policies can take place. No, it's all lobbyists. It's all corporate money controlling the politicians and the decisions they make. Does Doug Ford talk to us about Ontario Place? No. He goes and talks to Therme, makes a deal with them, and doesn't consult the public in any kind of way about Ontario Place. How the fuck is that democracy? Seriously. That is not democracy. These guys are making the rules at the top, and they're not including us in the rules. And we don't matter. Honestly, in some ways, what we decide and what we want doesn't matter to them. They're going to go and do what they fucking want because they're the party of grabbing by the pussy. So, I mean, you could be naive to this, Cool Cat, if you want and think that how can these policies take place? Well, they're not going to take place naturally or legally. We're going to have to throw this fucking system upside down and turn everything inside out for this to fucking change. Because the people that are in charge and the people in power and the people with the money are not going to allow it until we do and fucking change it. And it will be violent. It will be fucking really chaotic, and it will be fucking crazy. And it will be happening in the next 2 years. Charlie Kirk is a sign of what's to come, guys. And I'm telling you, things are going to devolve into a really fucked up, weird way. That's why I'm telling y'all to start growing your food. That's why I'm telling y'all to stop relying on the current systems right now, because they are not going to be in place in the near future, because everything's going to turn to shit. I'm telling you right now, I wish I wasn't right, but I have foresight and I can see where everything's moving towards. And I'm only doing this because I love you guys and I want to warn y'all ahead of time so you can have a little bit of a head start. That's why I'm starting my fruit trees and the stuff that I'm doing out here, so I can feed myself and not have to depend on the grocery store, because there's no telling how supply lines and food and everything's going to be going in the next 10 years, y'all. I'm telling you, we have a wide range of what could fucking happen. Whether it's dystopian prison state, United States, where everybody's getting arrested for the littlest infractions and going straight to incarceration. Whether it's a police state that's surveilling us and watching us every single fucking place, like the red light cameras are watching us. Everything's watching us, y'all. Tesla cars can watch us. Whether it is the continuous of fossil fuel burning and degradation of our environment, and then the environment gets worse and worse, and we have harder times with our planet because it's just changing naturally because we're being abusive towards it. There's all kinds of outcomes. And like I said earlier, Israel could start a nuclear war, and that could fucking change everything real quick. So don't be naive on this shit. Just because you live conditioned in the systems that they built in this society right now, you need to decondition yourself and realize that the myths that they told us and conditioned you to believe are full of shit. And the only truths you have are your own and what you can do in your own power around your own life. Because seriously, if you're thinking this system's just going to stand and hold like this, it's not. And there's going to be some crazy ass shit happening. And a lot of this was preordained, and a lot of this shit was foresight by a lot of people ahead of time. Nostradamus is getting these dates right at some point. Watch. He's getting these dates right at some point. Seriously. Kareem saying, man, if Bernie Sanders was president, the world would be a different place. No bias, no color, just straight right versus wrong. Bernie Sanders is a sensible man who has the right policies and would have been a fantastic president of the United States. But the big money would never, ever allow that to happen because he would have taxed them. And he would take in his the fair share from them and put it back in the public, and it would be a better society for it. Yes, it would be a completely better society if we had Bernie Sanders as the president in 2016. That, oh man, that's an alternate reality I would have loved to be living in. Seriously, I'd be happy living in the Kamala Harris reality right now if they hadn't cheated and ran roughshod and stolen that election last year. I know maybe I sound like Trump people saying, oh, you didn't lose in the 2020 election. Bullshit. I'm telling you right now, they bragged about this last year. Elon made a cryptic message saying lasers from the sky last fall around the election. What do you think he was talking about? He's so arrogant, he told on himself. Lasers from the sky. He had something to do with the election machines in the United States and satellites, and he manipulated the results. That's part of the reason why Donald loved him so much around then. It's like, oh, Elon is so brilliant. He's so smart. He fixed this election so I'd be president no matter what. Nobody's seeing this? Nobody can see right through this shit? That this is fucking a farce and a scam, this whole fucking presidency? That nobody fucking actually wanted this shit and a very small minority voted for this, but they inflated the fucking results to make it look like he beat Kamala? Because God forbid a woman of color is the president. Seriously, let's open our eyes and stop being a little less naive is what I'm saying right here. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, I agree 100%. Raptors Freak speaking the truth. The system is broken. System is broken. We ain't fixing this shit the regular way, the way that they tell us to through democracy. No, they ain't going to let us do that. Cool Cat saying Mobo needs a good life coach to help him understand how to manage life in the public sphere. It's okay. I mean, seriously, I'm not holding this against Jonathan. I think that he is doing this because it's the message of Christ is more important to him. In some ways, he may not totally understand just how deplorable Charlie Kirk is, but the message of Christ is what is important and what he's saying in that. I think so. Smooth saying the Jays lost yesterday. Oh, that sucks. So my cousin and uncle and aunt went to a game that they lost. That sucks. I wish they won in that one. It's too bad. Kareem saying Jays lost yesterday, the night before they had the 8th inning comeback. Actually, they almost did it again yesterday. Okay, so that's what happened. Okay, well, they were close, but they didn't get there. Interesting. And that 3-2 Houston, the lead is still 3 over New York and Boston. Okay, well, as long as that margin's staying there, I like that they really like. It's kind of like if they don't win the AL East, they're probably going to be the wild card for sure. So there's going to be postseason for them either way, probably. But I'm pretty sure they're going to win right through. They got to stay on top and just get that AL East pennant. I want to see that. I really do. Technically, the Jays have the tiebreaker over both. That's even more beautiful. That's even more beautiful that they have that tiebreaker. That's maybe coming in very handy in the next couple weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Kareem saying, I can't believe I asked for an AI Al Bundy moment. Laugh out loud. I'm old. It's okay, man. It's cool. I like that reference. I mean, you're old just for knowing that reference. I mean, seriously, come on now. They're doing a Married with Children reboot with the actors. They're all coming back. That should be very interesting to see Al Bundy, Peg Bundy, Bud Bundy, and Kelly Bundy back together on Married with Children. They're supposedly doing another thing with them now at their age now. That'd be really interesting. Cream saying, if Bernie Sanders was president, this world would be different, my honest opinion. I think that this world, in some ways, at different places, we could have gone in different places. Like they always make that joke. If MTV had just kept playing videos, we would be living in like some civilized space age society by now. But no, they had to stop playing videos. And there's a lot of different turns where I wonder about the reality that we'd be living in. Would we be more like the Jetsons or Star Trek and be living like in a really like advanced, like much more awakened kind of lifestyle that some people are saying is like it's woke, but it's just like it's more equality and there's more justice and it's more civilized. Because that's the thing, it's civilized. We're not civilized when we're shooting each other, no, but we're civilized when we accept and allow for difference, like Star Trek, the shows. Like seriously, that's the future Gene Roddenberry wanted it for us guys. So why didn't we go more towards that? Seriously. That's what I'm saying. Cool Cat saying Mobo's still young, and I hate to see him get caught in stuff due to his nativity. Words matter just like actions matter. Yeah, I think it is just, it's like you can promote this if you want. It's fine. And in some ways, he may be, I'm just saying, he may be shocked at some of the messages he's getting from Raptors fans because they really are very woke, left-leaning people. And in some ways, they'd be like, whoa, whoa. I mean, we come after Terrence Davis for beating up his girlfriend, rightfully so. There's been very politically correct people in the Raptors fan nation for a while. And, you got to know your fan nation, Jonathan Mobo, in some ways. This isn't like being down in Florida with the Christ churches down there Jonathan Isaac goes to. No. This is different up here in some ways. This is different up here. All right, let me get this wrapped up because we are over 2 hours. We were talking about EUROBASKET today, and there's a Final Four, and it's Greece, Turkey, Germany, and Finland. And what are the final poll results? We're going to finish it right here. It looks like 40% of y'all think Germany is going to win this EUROBASKET 2025, 28% for Greece, 24% for Finland, and 8% for Turkey. So that's the end of the poll. So Germany is the favorite, according to the Raptor Freaks. Interesting stuff. All right, let's see what else I got. Oh, on the tabs. First of all, straight goods on Canadian goods. Support Canada. Canada first. Elbows up. Earth's Own is a great company. It's a food company. They do a lot of dairy stuff. Like I drink an Earth's Own almond milk that's really, really good. It's chocolate. Oh my gosh. Earth's Own is a great milk and dairy and all kinds of different stuff kind of company. They're Canadian owned and they produce plant-based cream cheese alternatives. Also have facial tissues made from eco-conscious sources. And they manufacture all their products in Canada. And a lot of the stuff is a very eco, sustainable, and plant-based. So yeah, on this list right here, they've got a cream cheese, a facial tissue, and a plate-based sour cream alternative. And like I said, I drink a chocolate almond milk made by Earth's Own. So if you know the brand Earth's Own, it's 100% Canadian. And you're supporting our country if you buy it. That's what I love to say. Raptors Reddit reactions. Let's see what they're saying. This is the part right here that really might get the Clippers in trouble. Pablo Torre's got the video out. They have it on Raptors Reddit here. Kawhi's 1.75 no-show payday was late, so a Clippers owner invested $1.99 million, and they got the receipts. And that is the problem right there. A Spurs fan is coming to Raptors Reddit, and he's saying this. As a Spurs fan coming in peace, Thank you for taking him from us, and I'm glad neither of our franchises gave in to him and his asinine uncle's demands. That's straight from Spurs Nation to us. Here's Sandro Mamu's line from yesterday's game against Finland: 22 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, a plus 22 on efficiency. Yeah, that's good stuff. The Raptors 905 has done the Exhibit 0 deal, as Blake Murphy has put it, with Tyreek Key yesterday. Tyreek Key goes the way of Quincy Guerrier, signs the Exhibit 10, and gets waived immediately. That's basically the move to get them a little bit more money and put them on that 905 roster. So welcome back, Mr. Guerrier, Mr. Key, to the Raptors 905 in Mississauga. You're in the fold, and they are officially in. That's not what that message is, that they got waived and they're out. No, they are going to be back, and they will be playing for the 905. So, yeah, there's your Raptor Reddit reaction for today. That's what's up right there. The Spurs fan is coming in peace, y'all. Happy birthday, too. This is a weird one. Mark Baker. Now, you may never heard the name Mark Baker. Mark Baker was a point guard for the Raptors from Ohio State. He is born today. He's 55 years old, actually 56 years old today, because his birth. Oh, wait, why does it say his birthday is November 11th? That's weird. It's not September 11th. It's November 11th. That's what it says here. So maybe it isn't his birthday. I'm not totally sure. But he's a guy who only played one game for the Raptors, and he had one field goal attempt. He played 2 minutes, and he had one turnover. So, yeah, Mark Baker, even if it's not your birthday today, I'll say happy birthday to you. I don't think it is his birthday. I was trying to figure this out. I guess it isn't, man. That's weird. All right, let's do the classic card, and we'll get done. Get done real quick. It's been a great Thursday think tank. I really appreciate the calls from the guys. And, yeah, much respect to Scarborough and Mississauga, all the boroughs of the GTA. We love you. We love you. All right, let's see. Who did I pull? Just out of the random. Oh, this is cool. We talked about this guy yesterday or a couple days ago. So let's see if you guys can remember who we talked about. Here we go. Here's a classic card of the day. It's another Cavalier. We've had some Cavaliers lately. So can you tell me what the full name answer of this classic card of the day is? Yeah, Brad Doherty's right. Amit Gaming knows that. That's NBC on NBC's Brad Doherty. He will be calling games as a color analyst for NBC in the new year of the NBA schedule. So, yeah, that's Brad Doherty. Easy work. That's right. Amit Gaming. It's like, what are you doing? This is so easy. That's right. That's why it's going to be a 50-point card. Because it's too easy. It's like Olajuwon yesterday. Olajuwon was 50 points yesterday. Brad Doherty's all-star and very recognizable. Amit Gaming is on the board for the classic card today. Fast fingers Amit. That's what we call him. He's the quickest draw in the world in some ways. I say that. Yeah, he's back. I had to go to the store, recycle plastic bottles, and get some food. I like that you're recycling. That's a good act. I like that. Cream saying, I never watched any of the EuroBasket, but when I heard Sam, who's your mama, who did well. Wait. Sandro Mamu is our backup center of the Raptors. That's right. Sam, who's your mama, did well. Yeah. Sandro Mamu, our new backup center, plays for Georgia. And, yeah, he had a very successful EuroBasket. Georgia defeated Spain and France with the help of Sandro Mamu and made some good things happen. Cream saying, wait, did Mark Baker score his one attempt? He could be the greatest Raptor of all time. No, he missed his one shot, and he made a turnover. And he had 0 points in 2 minutes as a Raptor in his career. That's it. He played 2 minutes in one game. He came in, made a turnover, and missed the shot. That's what he did. Yeah, that's right. His full name is Lamarck Baker. Is that true? Seriously? Akeem was probably so easy, you should have taken away points. No, it wasn't, actually. I'll show you the card. You can tell me if you think this Olajuwon card is easy. Because, look, it's him in goggles, and it's back to the things. I mean, that's not totally the easiest Olajuwon card. It is kind of easy, but it's not totally. Because he's in sky goggles, and his back is to the card. So it wasn't the easiest one. Yeah, all right, y'all, let's get out of here. It says it on this back, but 50 points sound good. I know you can kind of see his name. You can kind of see his name on the back. It's true. Amit's just so good. All right, y'all, tomorrow we'll be freaking out on the Friday Freak Out. I'm not sure what the freak out will be on. Maybe it'll be on the one-on-one idea with Tracy McGrady. And, yeah, I want to remind you guys, we're doing our 4-year birthday party for this channel on Sunday. It's a 4-year anniversary of me starting this channel. I started this channel on September the 14th, 2021, and we'll be celebrating 4 years of Raptor Freak streams on Sunday. So I hope you can come in and be on the birthday party. on the Sunday stream. That's what's up right there. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday Freakout. Thanks for watching. All the views expressed on this show are solely mine and the people that express theirs on the phone and other people in the chat. These views do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of MLSE, the Toronto Raptors, or any of the players, coaches, or personnel of the organization. These are solely the individuals on this program that express these opinions. And I appreciate everybody for being here. That's what freedom is, the ability to disagree and to have opinions. But I will say this once again, if your disagreement with me is that you want to be fascist, racist, sexist, misogynistic, holding down other people, your argument is invalid, and I fucking don't give you the platform for it, because there's no equality to racism. And if you come in with that kind of stuff, no, we do not have tolerance for that. And that is not a platform where you can stand on and say you need equal time. So I'm going to say that right there. There you go, Isaac Campbell. If you give me the time, touch grass. Let's get out there. Scotty Barnes, I love you. Let's go get that championship, Raptors. This year, future's so bright. We got to wear shades. Let's go, Raptors.